Welcome, acolytes, to a true test of your devotion to the path of knights around a table. It is the evening they call date night, and yet at least one of you are here. Now, I don't consider myself a soothsayer or a prophesier in any way, but I can tell you one thing about the future, and that's that the people of the future can't see a bloody thing in these stupid glasses, so I'm going to take them right off, or else this is just going to go off the rails much sooner than expected. It will go off the rails, but I don't want it to happen at minute 0. Who's here? Oh, thank you very much for the subscription person on YouTube who can't see me right now, Brandon Devereaux. But you know what, Brandon, if you're watching this in the playback on YouTube, then you will see your name fly by and you'll be like, what? I was in that one. Unknown cameo. It's like when the street team goes and like captures you on the news. And this happened to my this happened to my grandfather one time. He sat us down. They were really excited because he lived up in Thunder Bay, and apparently they went around like shooting different like touristy spots in Thunder Bay. There are very few, but he's like, there's my back. He and his wife were walking through the mall and they caught his butt on the news. So that was the big, hey, DJ Muffy, thanks for joining me. What is happening this evening? Look at this. Look, I've got a board game set up on the table. We played this one, DJ Muffy? I don't know if we talked about it. Look at this. It's called Anachrony. And it's a game ostensibly about time travel, though I wouldn't say that's super fair, because there is I don't know, thematically there's time travel in it. The time travel mechanic itself I don't find all that super interesting in this game. What I do find interesting, though, if you caught the birthday stream last week, I was playing my birthday game Tricarion, and so that's by the same publisher, Mindclash Games, and Mindclash was super generous in that they sent me a copy of Anachrony, and then once the already? Okay, wait. Oh, man, that's so early. Okay, cool. Just wait one moment. I wasn't ready. Hold on just a second. I'm not unpracticed. This is robot dance time. Go. Was that worth the 500 cheddar? I wanted flashing lights, but there's only so far you can go on this stream. I never played it, says DJ Muffy, but always wanted to. All right. Threw me like right off course, but that's fine. I did it to myself. I was going to say, this is by Mindclash Games. Mindclash sent me a copy of Anachrony, and then when the Infinity Box is out, they sent me a copy of the Infinity Box, which already included Anachrony. So I'm just swimming in Anachrony stuff, but it's good that you brought up the robot, DJ Muffy, because check this out. You get little hexagonal tiles to represent your workers, but if you spend big bucks on the Kickstarter or you buy this is one thing I like about Mindclash, is that they make their stuff available at retail after the fact, so it's not locked into a Kickstarter campaign. Anyway, you spend extra dough and everybody gets workers that are replaced by really cool minis. So that's the mini for the bad guy I'm going to be playing against tonight, and that's the mini for my path. Pretty cool. Now, the nice thing about them sending me multiple copies of the game is that I would love to paint these guys up, but I don't want to wreck anything. And now I've got 2 copies. So maybe I can proceed less nervously. I will mess them up, but I don't know. I've also heard that you can, I don't know if you guys paint minis, but I've also heard that you can douse them in a bath of, is it acetone? Something that'll dissolve the paint. So it's kind of like the dip from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And your minis will be like, no, you suck and I got your pupils out of place. Great. Worth every cheddar, says DJ Buffy. Well, guess what? There are multiple robot dance tunes for you to enjoy this evening. Why is there a face in the robot belly? That's a great question. Who asked that? Vera's asked that. Let me get in a bit closer. There's not only a face on the robot belly, there's a face on the robot back. That's like one for dancing, if you know what I mean. And then over here, you got faces on the robot arms. I think it's meant to be... Now, I don't know how deep we're going to get into the lore of this game, but I will have to mention a little bit of it, or else the game doesn't make any sense. But there's this statue in the middle of town, and there are 4 different, they call them paths, and they're like, it's a post-apocalyptic future, post-apocalypse, but pre-really bad apocalypse, right? So like humankind is separated into 4 different groups of people called paths. And this evening I will be playing the path of, oh, that's not the right shot. As I was saying, the path of harmony. Why is that shot so dark? We're going to have to fix that in a second. Believe me, I did adjust all these camera angles meticulously for hours before we started streaming. So So all the paths, they built a statue in the middle of town with these 4 faces. There's a 4th one on the back. One of the things I'd love to do, if I had all the time in the world, is I would model this statue in 3D. I'd print it out on my 3D printer and I'd wire it up with lights, because as we'll see later on, the what hits the fan, and this will actually flip over, and all the people who live in town will be in danger, and we want to win them to our side. That's what all the paths want to do. They want to convince everybody that they're the ones who should set the agenda going forward. They have different ideologies. So my path is the path of harmony, and they are essentially the dirty hippies. They're all kind of like planty, kind of outdoor themed. That's the image that you saw when you clicked to watch this stream. Hopefully you saw that image. Oh, great. Thank you so much for the follow, Eugene Berlinski, who can't see us because he's on YouTube. But boy, if he watches that rerun. So yeah, you want to convince all the people to join you and whatever agenda your path sets forward. So my path being all about planty outdoorsy stuff. There's another path that's like a cult that lives underground, and one that lives in the ocean, one that lives in the air. So the groundy guys have something going on with water. Water is a resource in this game, so they're focused on a lot of like watery stuff, as we'll see. It's like a dystopian future. No, here green simply removes the paint. Oh, Simply Green removes the paint. Yeah, I don't know what's in Simply Green. Let me give it. No, don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. I'll feel that for days. Simply Green, good to know. Good to know. Anything that I can do to proceed and paint things with impunity, I would be happy to know about. So, dystopian future indeed. So what actually happens is, this is, let me zoom out a little bit on that. This is the timeline. So since you folks haven't played, I will do a little slight teach. I do have a how to play video on this, but hey, you're here, so let's talk about it. So this is the timeline, and each one of these represents a different era. And this is my little path marker, and it's going to be moving through this timeline like this. You notice that one of these tiles, it's like Sesame Street, one of these tiles is not like the other. This shows a meteor impact. So what happened was, in the future, a meteor hit and caused havoc throughout the capital. This is the capital city right here, and everybody running around screaming and dying, and it's very bad. It's going to be very bad. But the meteor was made of stuff called neutronium. Let me show you that. So that's one of the resources in the game. It's this purple stuff, neutronium, or as my friend Patrick likes to call it, purplonium. So the meteor impact blew up, and all this neutronium's everywhere, and neutronium facilitates time travel in a weird way. You don't really travel back in time. What you do is sort of open, Portal, that Valve game Portal. You sort of open a window. Hey, why was Omelette not already subscribed? Oh, is it a new month? Is that why? Thank you so much for the subscription, Omelette, and welcome. Those fireworks really hurt me in the earballs. So, and Omelette knows all of this because we've played this game together in person, no less. Very rare occurrence. So, the meteor explodes, all this neutronium goes everywhere, and it facilitates time travel in a way that it's basically like aiming a spotlight and carving out this big portal, and you can like send stuff through the portal. So that's the gist of the time travel stuff, is every era, you have the option of requesting resources from yourself in the future, and your future will shine a light and send it back to you. However, later in the game, as your path marker travels through all these eras, you have to then construct a building that lets you go back in time, and you have to repay the stuff back to yourself. So it's a little bit like a loan system, but it's neat and it's tied in thematically. I don't think that's the most interesting thing about the game, though. The thing that I really like about the game, like I said, if you saw the birthday stream last week with Tricarian is a programmatic movement game. So you got a bunch of workers, and there are a bunch of spots on the board, just like here. There are a bunch of different spots where you can put your workers, and you've got a deck of cards, and each card represents a different spot where you can send your workers. So you got to think, I want to send that guy there, and that guy there, and that guy there. You put all your cards down where you want to send them, and they're face down, and everybody else does that. And then at a moment, you flip over all your cards. A little bit like Race for the Galaxy, if you played that. There's a bunch of other games that do it, San Juan. So you flip over all of your cards, and everybody looks and like, oh, you're going there? I'm going there. Oh no, we're going to fight. So, and then you're kind of stuck sending your people to all the places that you committed to sending them. This is a little bit different than that. It's a little bit more flexible than that. Here's what's going on. It is bugging me how dark my path is, but let's just say it's futuristic and dour. I have exosuits. So these aren't robots. These are like an alien. You know when Ripley wears the big mech thing that lets her pick stuff up? That's like this, right? So people have to go in here, and the people are right here. These are my workers, and there's one who's asleep. This is the awake column, and this is the sleepy time column, I like to call it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be first committing some of these exosuits to the old charge station and powering them up so that they're ready to travel into the capital city. Then when the actual actions phase happens, I'm going to pick one of the people who's awake, stick the person in the exosuit. There's these little slots just like that. Stick it in the exosuit and then go over here to the capital city and pick a spot to put my worker on and then do the worker thing. And then, everybody comes back. So it's a standard worker placement game from there. But I just thought that was really neat. There's, a couple of neat mechanics going on here that you commit to how many people you're sending, but not which specific people you're sending. So you get a little bit of leeway when it's time to play. You see what I'm saying? Perplonium, says Omelet. Yes. Dance Robot Dance, question mark? Did you mistype? That looks like it's properly spelled. I don't know why it didn't activate. Why didn't it activate? I don't know. It's mysterious. Who knows what mystical forces make the robots dance? Back to it. So that's a neat thing about the game. There's a bunch of neat things about the game. Now, one thing I will say about the layout before I start playing is that these tiles represent buildings that you can build on your little player board over here. So one of the dealios is you want to build a whole bunch of buildings so that you have extra worker placement spots at home that you can place on, because eventually it gets more and more expensive to place your exosuits in the capital city and take actions over here. So that's one thing you want to focus on. Now, this is sideways only because that's like the only way I could fit everything on the table. So I'm going to switch to the view of the buildings and it's going to rotate. Check this out. Boom. Now, I hope that's not too disorienting for you. What I did was I rotated the image so that you'd be able to see the buildings face up. And now that I'm looking at the monitor, I can see them face up too. So it's for both our benefit. Sorry that the angle is a little bit wonky. So that's what's going on. Hopefully it doesn't mess with your head too much. Cool. All right. How's everybody feeling? I think it's going to be okay. As we progress down the timeline, when we hit the meteor tile right here, what's going to happen is this thing's going to flip over and all HE double hockey sticks is going to break loose. So that means that the world is ending, the capital is collapsing, we all got to get out of here. So each path has a way, an evacuation routine. They have a condition where they can put a worker on here or an exosuit with a worker in it on here and take a bunch of people from the capital and save them and say, here, you're coming with us. And that's really just a way for them to increase their population so that they have more people going forward who can adhere to their ideological agenda going forward, forging the future. One confusing thing about this game, and I will put out the rules, Gremlin, because of this, I think I had him in this moment in the How to Play video as well, is people think that if you don't evacuate, this is like a win condition, and if you don't evacuate, that's it, you're host. It's not a win condition. It's not a win condition. It's just another way to earn points. So you don't have to evacuate, but it's a good way. It's a good way to earn points, and really it gives you an end game goal. So if I go over here to my player board, you can see that this is my path, a path of harmony. Every path has a different leader. You've got 2 to choose from in the base game, and down here these are the conditions of evacuating people. I haven't even looked at these yet. What do I have to have? I have to have 6 of my building spots. Thank you so much for the subscription, Varys. Yeah, I guess everybody's renewing, right? Yeah, so if you've got Prime, Amazon Prime, you've got 1 free subscription a month, and it sort of like unsubscribes you every single month. So if you've already done that in previous months, by all means, go to Amazon Prime Gaming and make sure you say, yes, I still want to subscribe to Nights Around the Table. Back to it. And I appreciate that because it gets me... What do you hear this? It gets me 2 big smackers. That's right. It's beer money, and I don't even drink. Back to this. So this is the condition. I have to cover up 6 of my building spots on my board, and when I evacuate, if I don't have 6 covered up, I can't evacuate anybody and get extra points. So when I do that, I get 2 points. Plus, for every building and administrator, that's a type of worker, I get $3. So every combination, every pair of that, I get 3 extra bucks. Or 3, not bucks, sorry, points. That's the sitch. There's a lot to explain. It seems like a really complicated game. I won't tell you what all the different spots do. We'll see that as we go. But it really, I mean, you've said this to people before, right? You've had people over to your house and you've laid up this big, hairy, insane game, and you've said, like, it's not that complicated. Once you know how to play, it's not that complicated. It's like, well, dummy, learning how to play is the complicated part. All right, DJ McPhee's lurking. What did I... something I said? All right, good. I'm glad you're checking your points. Hello, gaming humans. Hey, Panic Games. Good to see you back. Yes, I have lied to people as well, to Panic Games, and it's been really inconsiderate because I have roped very non-gamer type people into very gamer type games. I've never that was like earlier in a past board gaming life. I don't do it as much anymore because I know it's just a lousy experience for everyone involved. So why put anyone through misery? This over here is the list of game phases. Oh, it's not on the camera. This is the list of game phases that I'm going to be riding pretty hard to follow what's going on. So in phase 1, we do preparation. Commence preparation H. All right. So you flip over to these cards. This one tells you how many resources or which resources to put in the mine area, and this one tells you who's going to be up for grabs in the personnel area, so who you can hire. So let me just get that going. When you get the... No, that's not right enough. When you get the Infinity Box, you get metal cubes for the neutronium stuff, which is really, really nice. The metal cubes are nice. And then there's an extra thing, like if you pay megabucks, you can get everything metal. And so they just went in Mindclash and just said, here, have everything metal. I'm like, don't mind if I do. So that was really nice. And then over here, it's always one of each. When we go there, we're going to be able to pick from the left and from the right. These resources are uranium, gold, and titanium. TUG. Whoa, that's not a good camera angle. That's better. It's still, this is the most camera angles I've ever had to deal with in a game. So thank you for your patience. All right, so we did that, and then at the top we got a scientist. Although I'm going to be much more comfortable or smoother, I think, playing this than I am with Chikarian, because I think first of all, I think the robot player designed, I believe, by David Tortsey, who, as you know, if you watch this channel, is a little punk. He's basically a brat. He's a little punk kid is really what he is. I believe he designed the robot player for this. He designed the game as well. And I think the robot player is a bit more, less hairy, I think, than in Chikarian. I think it's a little bit more manageable than the Chikarian one. So this ain't going to be no 2-hour stream. There's 2 of these engineer guys. By the way, if you want to know a little Anachrony tidbits, a little piece of trivia, that guy right there, that engineer, and bring it closer to the camera, that is David Tortsey. Little punk. All right, so there we go. So 2 of those guys, and no administrators, and 1 genius. That's a scientist, that's an engineer. And on the bottom here, nope, let's try that. On the bottom here is a genius. Cool. I could always see Omelette out of the corner of my eye, probably yelling at me for putting that administrator on there. Let's see if he did. Nope. Okay, cool. Phew. All right. Never trust a robot, and especially someone that makes one. I know, right? Tertiary, I've got my eye on you, my flesh and blood eye. Okay, so that's the preparation phase. Let me just make sure. Refill the mine, recruit pools, reveal new super projects. So I've already done that, but here's the deal. There are, in addition to the normal buildings that you can build, the little tiley ones over here, you can also build super projects that take up 2 spots, and they cost a whole lot, but they're very, very powerful. Like Chikarian, this is one that has a big stack of stuff, and hopefully the symbology gets you by, but if not, there may be a little bit of flipping through the rulebook. I'm going to keep that to a minimum as much as I can. And then the other thing you get to do is you flip over 1 building in each stack. That's my sideways shot, my little rotated shot. So when you build, you actually get to pick from either of the 2 stacks. Now what's going on, if you've only played the base game, you might be wondering what's going on with this anomaly stack. These anomalies, how do I explain it quickly? The more you mess with the timeline and borrow stuff from yourself in the future, the more risk you run of messing up the space-time continuum. When you mess up the space-time continuum, you get little paradox tiles, and as soon as you get 3 of them, that accrues you an anomaly tile. And these are bad. These take up a spot where a building normally would. And normally in the base game, they look like this. They all look like this. Every single one of them is the same. So they cost a certain number of resources, and they murder somebody. It costs you the life of one of your workers to get rid of them off your board. Now the change here is that there is a mini module that gives you variable anomalies. So every single anomaly in this stack is different instead of them all being the same. The reason why I'm hanging on to this one is because it's going to hang out near my board. I need this to be able to remove any anomalies that I accrue in my building area. Again, I'll have to pay all this stuff and I'll have to stick the work down, but the neat thing about these variable anomalies is that some of them are kind of good. Some of them give you stuff, perks and benefits and things, and it's kind of like, how long do I want to hang on to this disruptive on-fire building? I mean, I am getting stuff from it, but eventually it's going to be worth negative points, so you're going to want to clear it off your board somehow. Great. Great. Now, what is going on with the robot player? Well, here's the situation over on the robot board. It's going to look a little bit intimidating, and I won't lie, I have wet myself just a tiny bit. But from what I can... Oh, there goes my keyboard, and I'm bouncing everything around. From what I can discern, here's the situation. You have a bunch of different tokens here, labeled 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you have a die that resolves to 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say that it was 3. It's not. That's not a real roll. We're just pretending. If you rolled a 3, then you would do the thing underneath 3 and move 3 over. And the next time a 3 gets rolled, you do this thing. Da-da-da-da. On and on and on. A little bit of Anachrony history for you. So in the base game, the bad guy was called the Chronobot, and I think people complained that maybe he was a little bit imbalanced or unbroken. So when they did one of the 2 expansions, they redesigned the Chronobot, and then with another expansion, they came out with a new and improved robot that you can play against called the Chronossus. So the Chronossus follows most of the rules of the Chronobot with I shouldn't say a few changes, quite a great many changes, because the Chronobot was never designed so that you could play it with the expansions, because it existed before the expansions were even, designed. So the Chronossus is the new and improved Chronobot that gives you all sorts of bells and whistles and pieces and bits and boards so that you can play solo with a bunch of most of your expansions. Not necessarily all at once. This is kind of like the expansion approach was like an a la carte thing, where it's like, I'll pick this one, and this one, and that's how I'll play. And next time I'll do this one, that one, and this one. That's the situation, which I should say is not always my favorite, or I shouldn't say not always my favorite. It's not my favorite approach to expansions. I like something that I can plug in, and I know it belongs in the game, and I never have to take it out again. Like, what does this? A lot of games do this, but Race for the Galaxy is the one that really bugs me, because I hate dealing with cards. With Race for the Galaxy, if you want to play with a different expansion, you got to go through the whole deck and weed out a bunch of cards from a certain expansion and shuffle in cards from another expansion. Even with this one, there are a bunch of tiles that I had to remove from here and put new ones in, and then I thought, I'll never not play with the expansion, and lo and behold, tonight I'm playing without that expansion. So I had to take them all out and put all the old ones back in. Not my favorite. And I just like prescribed... I like to spit all over my table. I like prescribed experiences. I just picked up a copy of No Man's Sky, and I was really worried about it because everything is procedurally generated. And it's just like, I don't know, we'll just roll the dice and there's a planet and some creatures and stuff on it. I'm like, I don't like that as much as something like, I think a good counterpoint to No Man's Sky is a game called, I'm gonna forget the name, The Outer Wilds, which is a prescribed experience where I think there's 4 or 5 planets that you can visit, but they all exist, and they were designed, and the stuff on them, an author went in there, a game designer, and said, that's going to be there, that's going to be there, and this is all going to work like this. I think I prefer that. Why did I mention that? Right. So with board games, I prefer when the designer's like, this belongs here, you'll play with it, and you'll enjoy it, rather than, here's a bunch of big grab bag full of stuff, and you just pick what you think would be fun. It's like, I'm not the game designer. You pick for me. You're the one designing my fun. It's one of the things that's bugged me about Santorini. You ever play Santorini? It's kind of like a abstract chess-like thing that takes place in Greece. And it's like, that's what bugged me about it. You open the rule book, and it's like, here's a big page full of gods with variable powers. You just pick 2 and play with them. Like, did we balance them? I don't know. You go play with them. You find out. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Like, as a game designer, I'm a game designer by trade. I can do that. I can be like, this guy goes 3 spaces instead of 2. This guy collects double the gold. I don't know. I can just come up with, modifiers on powers all day long. It's not necessarily a good idea, and it's not necessarily true that combining 2 of them would work well in the game. Back to the robot. Yada blah, yada blah. We'll never get there if I keep yapping. Anyway, he's got other rules. With a couple of them, I might need a little bit of a rules connection, but that's the robot Let's Play. I'm gonna say he. I don't know what the robot's sex is, but I'm gonna say my robot's gonna be a dude. So my Chronossus has come back in time to destroy me and time and everything in it. Let's fight. Here we go. What is the first thing we do? I believe the first thing we do after preparation is we do the paradox. Now, down here in the timeline, if either of us, we go like era by era, karate chop. We go era by era, and we would see who has the most warp tiles begging for stuff from the future in each era. And I don't have any warp tiles, and the bad guy doesn't have any warp tiles, so we can totally skip the paradox part. Then we go to power up. We power up 0 to 6 exosuits. Now, over on my board, I've got spots for 6, and I've got the exosuits. Here's the deal. So you've got electricity running through your base. And so you can use the electricity for two things. You can either power up your suits so that they're playable and placeable on the main board in the action spaces, or if you leave stuff blank, you can collect water. So this symbol means if you don't put a suit on a space, you get 2 water from that space. Cool. The other jazz, maybe I'll explain a little bit later. That doesn't really come into play until after the impact. Great. Which path are you playing? I'm playing the Path of Harmony. Great question. Shazam. Path of Harmony with Halani. Yes. Great. What's Halani's power? Halani's got an extra, like a free action. Anything round is like a free action. You can put one of these round path markers on it, and it doesn't eat up your main action. But if you place a worker or a worker in an exosuit, it does. So the hexagon and the pentagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, the hexagon or the elongated hexagon, these things, will take a main action. I didn't realize they were both hexagons. That's kind of interesting. So yeah, the circles are a way to do something without eating up your main action. So what he does is he lets you for free action, place a worker on a worker spot. And some of the buildings that we build, check it out, might have areas like this one, place a worker on there. There's a lot of stuff going on, isn't there? Phew, boy, Ryan teachers are the best teachers. I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface. There's more, but let's just start playing and I'll explain as we go. Great. So we did the warp phase, the paradox phase, nothing. We're going to power up suits. Here's how the bad guy powers up, decides how many suits to power up. Bad guy's always going to power up at least 3 suits, but we have this bag. Now, with all the bells and whistles, there's a couple of weirdly missing bells and whistles in the Anachrony Infinity Box, and one of them is that I don't believe I got a drawstring bag, so I stole one from Chikarian. So inside this bag, there are 10 tokens. 10 energy core tokens. 5 of them are powered up and 5 of them are dead. This is the dead ones. They're no good. So it's kind of like a way to semi-randomly determine how many suits the bad guy's going to power up. So you put these in here, you shake them up, and you draw 3. 1, 2, make sure I get 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are the ones I drew. So it's 3 plus X, where X is the number of charged up ones. So 3 plus 2. So the bad guy is going to have 5 exosuits. So let's get those down here, ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, after you draw those, if you drew a deader, the deader goes back in, the dead one, and the 2 live ones just get kicked out. They may re-enter the bag later. If the bad guy encounters any spaces that give him energy cores, then we'll put one back in the bag. So that's how that works. Any questions so far? Are we doing well? I hope so. Thank you again for joining me. This is going to drive me nuts though, so if you just bear with me for a second, I set the brightness of this, it's now down, and I want to fix. So let me just, this is going to look ugly, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but this is like hard to look at, it's so good. Yeah, that's much nicer, isn't it? Is that better? I think that looks better. I hope so. I don't know. Let me know. Oh, my eyes, it blinds. You got to get yourself a pair of these. And cool guys, smack into a wall. Right to the game. So, I get to decide how many suits that I want to power up. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to do? Well, my evacuation condition is all about covering up these building spaces with buildings. And I think no matter what you do in this game, buying a bunch of buildings is a good idea. The cost of the buildings aren't printed on the tiles. The cost of the buildings are printed on the spaces where you want to place them. It's a neat thing about this game. So all of the paths, if you flip them over to the B side of the board, the A sides are all the same, but if you have them on the B side, there's differences, right? It's asymmetrical. So I've got mine on the B side, and on the B side, it costs me extra water to build in a couple of these columns that other people wouldn't have to pay. But I have a couple of advantages on this board, so I'm gonna take a drink. I think what we should do is study these buildings and chart a course using the buildings. Oh, there's another endpoint we could look at that I should mention too. Normally in a multiplayer game, you pull a bunch of cards and they represent 5 endgame goals. You don't do that with solo. You pull 3 of these cards and the cards give you points based on where you place at the end of the game. So let's take a look at these. This might be, I hope there's no expansion stuff in here. I might have to weed it out if there is. This looks like an expansion thing, so I'm going to have to chuck it. Yeah, that's an expansion thing. Get out of here. Let's replace that one. Are you? Yeah, you're good. All right. Oh, it's a hard one. Come back, other card. All right, let me see if I can explain these. So if you reach the 8th spot on your little time travel track, let me pop over here to my time travel track. Here it is over here. Every single time I go back in time and pay something back, this travels up. So if I get all the way to the end, is what this card is saying, I'll get 4 points for doing so. If I get to the 7th spot, I'll get 2 points, and the 5th spot, I'll get 1 point. That's that card. Over here, this is in order to travel back in time, you need to build power plants, and those are the yellow buildings. And this little number, see how it's shaped like the arrows, the time arrows? This little number tells you how far back you can send your path marker to go and send yourself something back in the past. So that number over there, pardon me, that number there says that if all of the time travel distances your power plants provide you with add up to 10 by the end of the game, 4 points. If they only add up to 9, 2 points. If they only add up to 6, 1 point. If we go back to these buildings, let's take a look at what we've got here. 3 plus 2 is 5, and that thing wants us to get to 10. And I think the most I've ever seen on a power plant is 4, 2 and 2. I could be wrong about that. Cool, and then this one up here, so okay, so these pair nicely actually. If I do a whole lot of time travel, then I'll be in the running for some good points by the end. But it's only really, it's not a lot of points. I don't know how closely I should pay attention to these. Over here, this is for these breakthrough tiles that I haven't shown you yet. There's 5 of them. And they are shaped like a triangle. Let me get in a bit closer. They're shaped like a triangle, a circle, and a square. And they have one of 5 different symbols on them. And the symbols are all on this die, which we'll see in a sec. So these are scientific, they represent scientific breakthroughs. So what this one is saying is that if I have 9, they're worth a point each, and if you get a set, a triangle, square, and a circle, that set is worth an extra 2 points. This is worth 9 points. Sorry, no, if I have 9 of them, it's worth an extra 4 points. If I have 6 of them, it's worth an extra 2. If I have 3, it's worth an extra 1. So man, just farming those breakthroughs seems like it would be a good strategy, doesn't it? Good to know. I don't know why this is shimmering like it's in the desert. Like, relax, camera. I think because I drummed my fingers on the table. The camera's like, no, camera, don't like. Great. Okay, good to know. Over to the buildings. There's a lot of assessing you gotta do at the beginning of these games, right? Especially this one. Over to the buildings. We've got some power plant tiles. 3 is a nice distance to be able to travel. Plus, when you build this tile, it lets you take one of the warp tiles off one of the timelines. Quite nice. I like it. A tile like this is really important. You have to play, certain spots are restricted to certain kinds of workers. These ones are restricted to engineers, of which I have 2 woken up ones. Notice that I'm missing a type of worker here. The blue one's the administrator, so I'm going to have to correct that. Anyway, you place an engineer here and you pay 3 water, and that gets you 2 energy cores. Seems expensive, but the energy cores, what do you do with those? You pay them to take extra spots on your, to power up more suits. My one advantage that I have, though, is I can pay water instead of those cores. Yes, and I do start with 3 of those cores. One big rookie error in this game, and I made it the last time I played, even though I'm not a rookie, is that I got all the way to the impact down here, the meteor tile. I got all the way to the impact, and I hit the next round, and I didn't have any energy cores. And I was like, oh crap, I can only place like 2 suits, because a couple of these tiles get blocked off, right? The meteor smashes things and makes spaces unavailable. It's very scary, the end times are. Down here, if you just place a worker, you get a uranium cube. And this little eyeball means that usually when a worker does its thing, it comes back and it goes into the sleepy time column over here. And there's a whole mechanism for waking your workers up. But this says, whoa, this says that when the worker's done, it comes back awake and motivated because it really likes mining uranium, and who wouldn't? Over here, we pay 1 neutronium to get 8 water. Oh, daddy like. Neutronium is hard to get your hands on, though. It becomes more prevalent after the meteor impact because the meteor is made of neutronium, so the stuff's everywhere. Down here, pay a uranium to get 6 water and a point. Okay. This means you have to use a scientist here or a genius. There's a wild type of worker that you can use anywhere that requires a specific worker. And that removes one of the paradoxes. Over here, you're going to be, all these paradoxes are going to be mounting. When you get 3 of them, you get an anomaly. But that says, again, wrong camera angle, that says that you get to remove 1. Okay, fine. And notice the buildings are all worth points too in the bottom left corner. And then down here, you got to place an administrator, which I don't have, and it comes back to you awake, and it lets you wake everybody up. Now, how do you wake people up? Down here on the bottom of the board, by the way, I flipped off a little token accidentally. Let me put it back here. That's a very important token. Down here, you've got 2 ways that you can wake up your workers. You can put a worker here and pay a certain amount of water, depending on where this little token is. So if it was right here, this is the morale track. If it was right here, I'd have to pay 5 water. Anytime you see a little hole, it means pay the thing. So water goes in the hole. Pay the 5 water, and then you can take everybody who's in your sleepy time column and make them wake up. That's the nice way to do things. And then you go up here, and you're earning points, but you're also paying more water because, you know, the workers, they get kind of uppity. You know, they're like, nah, just treat us better. Nah, who wants unions? Anyway, in real life, I support unions for the most part. Not the kinds of unions that go around breaking people's kneecaps. I mean, absolute power corrupts absolutely, doesn't it? Back here, we haven't had kneecap breaking unions in a while, though, I don't think. Okay, what am I even saying? Great, so that starts here. This is the not nice way to wake people up. You can use a path marker. It's a free action. That's those round ones up at the top. So you can just throw a path marker there and just scream them awake. And they all wake up. They're like, no, okay, put me in an exosuit. I'm sorry, sleeping on the job. And then you go down in morale, so you're losing points. But it costs less and less water because they come to, they're like sleeping with one eye open. Is he going to yell at me again? That's a fun mechanic too. That's a cool thing about this game. Neato. All right, 313 looks nice, says Omelet. Omelet's going to coach me. 313, pay uranium, get 6 water and a point. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. You'd go 313, eh? I like 309 up here, but it's too hard to get that. It's too hard to get neutronium, especially earlier in the game. And it is really important to build a power plant early, I think. Okay, so let's say I'm going to want to build twice. Let's see, how many we got? I'm going to want to build twice. I'm definitely going to want to get more resources. I have 2 titanium. Water is really important to my game. So if I get something that lets me crank out water, like the one that you're suggesting, that would be really, really good. So let's say I want to do for sure at least 3 suits. I want to power at least 3 suits up. And just early in the game, might as well do one more. So I got to pay the energy core. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pay 2 energy cores to power up 5 suits, and then the one that I don't take up, we use that energy to purify some water, because all the water is gross and tastes really yucky. Proponium is hard to get. Yeah, it's viable. I got to the point where I had to evacuate or execute a dissenter. Yeah, that's right. If you get all this good, Good memory. If you get all the way down here, you're shouting them awake so often, you shout them awake again. It's like, well, one of them just keels over and dies. That's what this little skull icon. It's a little bit tiny, hard to see, but yeah. Hey, it's Dino Discussions POD. Sorry I missed you. Meteors do be scary. They do. If there's one thing I learned in meteor school. Glad you could join us. Great. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 5, and I got my water. Now, over here, this is the first player thing going on. So the bad guy is the first player. The bad guy gets to do something first. So over here, the bad guy, man, I really do feel like the Wizard of Oz in this one. There's a lot of levers I'm pulling here. All right, let's see how far we get with this. Bad guy is going to do number 5. Number 5 is a black token, so we follow the arrow when we advance it. So this is what the bad guy is going to do. I'm going to have to get my aging eyes closer to the thing. So it's going to recruit and take a point. So let me just get the bad guy a point, and it's going to recruit. Now, the way that the bad guy works is it kind of like collects things. So it's going to be collecting the resource cubes, and it's going to be collecting the different types of workers and generally getting in my way. So it's got 5 suits. So it wants to go on this recruitment spot, Bazam, right there. And this little X'd out no smoking symbol means that when you recruit people from this space, let me get right here. When you recruit people from this space, you can recruit anybody who's available. And depending on the type of person you recruit, you get a little bonus. If you recruit a scientist, you get 2 water. If you recruit an engineer, you get an energy core. If you recruit an administrator, there isn't one available this round, but if there was, you could get a point. And if you recruited a genius who's wild and can stand in for any of them, you get to pick one of those bonuses. Now, the little no smoking symbol on the robot's board means the robot does not get a bonus for recruiting, no matter what it picks. The 1 point is the bonus, essentially. But there is an order to what the robot wants to take, and it's from the top down. So if there's a genius, it'll take a genius. No, administrator, grab that. No, grab one of these. No, grab one of those. Look, there is a genius available on the middle of the board, so the bad guy takes that available genius. Genius is very valuable, and we go here. So it'll always take something it doesn't have, and then when it gets everything, it'll drop it all into the hole and earn 5 points. It's going to be the same thing with the resources. So that's kind of cool, right? Like, that's how the robot works. All right, that was fairly easy. I survived that. Not too bad. It's no Tricarian. So I'm going to take one of these guys. There's no administrators. That's the only kind of worker I don't have, and I really want one because if you wake somebody up with an administrator, they stay awake. This stay motivated thing is a pretty valuable thing. I have engineers and I have scientists and I have a sleepy time genius who'd be good to wake up in a bit. There are different advantages depending on which kind of worker you place in different areas. So these 3 actions here, I love how everything is labeled and there's like a shape sense to everything. So a diamond like that means action. So this is the action where we can get those breakthrough tiles. This is the action where we can recruit people. This is the action where we can build buildings. So depending on what kind of worker is in the suit, when you place it, you get different perks, or there are different restrictions wherever you see the no smoking symbol. So over here, if we're researching, only the scientist in a suit or a genius who's wild is allowed to research. These other 2 dullards are not allowed on this space. Over here, when you recruit, scientists can't recruit because they're lousy with people, assumedly. Over here, the engineers can recruit anybody except a genius because they feel inadequate, I suppose. And the administrators who are good at this sort of thing, they're the HR people. They can recruit anybody they want. Cool. It's hard to figure out which way this guy is supposed to face because he's got heads on all parts of his body. He goes this way. Over here in the construct action, you can use scientists, that's fine, but if you use an engineer, they actually get a discount of 1 titanium when they build something. And over here, administrators do not get their hands dirty, so they can't build squat. These 2 spaces up here are where you go if the spaces down here are already taken. So if these 2 were filled up with suits, I could place here or here, pay some water, and take one of those actions. If I happen to be over here and I pay the extra water, I now kick this banner out and I become the first player. So that's how you gain control of that. And that might be a good thing to do early in the game. I forget. Oh yeah. If it's filled up, there is a way for the bad guy to take that first spot. All right, so what do I want to do? I wanted to build. Do I have the money to build? I don't think I do. I wanted to build that building that Omelette was suggesting, so it's going to be right here. So it would cost 2 titanium and 1. Well, I do actually have the money to do that, so yeah, why don't we construct? I'm going to take a suit off my board. I'm going to put it on the build action. I could put it down here, but that would cost me a water, and why would I? So I'll put it up here on the top spot. The top spots are always better. And I forgot to stick an engineer in it. There's my engineer. It goes in the little envelope spot. You'll have to trust that it's an engineer because this game doesn't sort of work top down too well. I might have used the cardboard hexagons. It would have been easier to see things, but like, come on. If you got minis, you're going to use the minis, right? So over here, the spot that I want to fill is this one, so it costs me 2 titanium and 1 water, except I get a discount because I used my engineer, so it's going to cost me 1 titanium and 1 water. I'm going to pay that out of my supply. And I'm going to take this building. I get a choice between both. And it's going to go over here, Shazam to here. So that's going to help my water situation tremendously, I believe. And I can put anyone there, that's pretty good. So really, I want to get a lot of these uranium cubes. Okay, off to the bad guy. Bad guy time. 3. It's hung, but we can see it. So 3 moves over, and we do this. So it wants to go to the construct action, and it wants to build something blue. Something old, something new. Down here, the construct action. It's normally a human player would have to pay this water, but the robot doesn't. The robot just goes. The robot also doesn't have any workers to put in its suits. It just takes stuff. Just goes and takes stuff. So in this case, it wants to build. Let me see. It wants to build a blue building. So again, it's collecting buildings down here. So it wants to build a blue building, and it wants to build the one that's worth the most points, but it only has one choice of blue buildings, which is this one. So it's just going to straight up build this one. So that's not an option for me anymore, and it goes down here. Cool. So it just got 2 points. That's just how it works. No space blocking or anything solo. Oh man, tons of space blocking. Are you kidding me? Look, this is already 2 spaces blocked by the bad guy. Unless I missed something. Yeah, so it's picking up spaces, so now I can't build a second thing, which is total nerds. I do want to get uranium is now pretty crucial to my strategy, so I will take a suit off my board and go over here. Now, if you place up here, you get the uranium. You place down here, you get the gold. And you place down here, you get the titanium. Whoops, then you get the women, then you get the power. To quote, who was that? Winnie the Pooh? Okay, so I'll take this one and this one just because I want as much uranium as possible. I guess that's what I'll do. Back to the robot. What you gonna do, robot? 4. So we move 4 and it moves off of this one, which lets it construct a gray building. Uh-oh. So it's got 2 exosuits left. Oh, need a dude in. Yeah, you're right. I didn't put my dude in there. The dude I'm going to put in there is going to be. Thank you. It's hard because the robot doesn't get dudes in there. The robot doesn't get. Here, look, I put an engineer in there. The robot doesn't get dudes, so I'm going to make that mistake a whole lot. Great. So the robot is going to go to the build action, but it can't. They're both taken. So this is when the robot takes one of these 2 spots. Which spot does the robot take? Well, let me tell you, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain reading the rule book. I forget which of the 2 it takes. It takes, let me just see. It takes the following spot. It was impossible to commit all of this to memory, trust me. It takes the yada do. Oh, that's going to be hard to find because that's a general rule, isn't it? General rule. If there are no spaces on the capital action, it places in a World Council action, always taking first player spot if possible. Of course it does. So it's going to go in this left spot, doesn't have to pay any water. It remains first player, and it's going to build a gray building, and the gray building it wants to build is the one that's worth the most points, which is... Hello, please. Which is this one right here. So, Fajang, and it has just earned itself 3 points. Yikes. Yikes. That suit is unpiloted. I know my suit was unpiloted. No people in the robot suits. They'd crush the life out of them. He's an evil robot, I've decided. Side along with me. I'm not fighting a nice robot. I don't fight nice robots. I cuddle them. All right. Cool. How are we doing, everybody? Is this working so far? Great. I have 3 suits left. And it's incumbent upon me to use them to take spaces on the board because they're going quick, right? With this dude picking them all up. So let me take a look. Man, just to build a power plant, it costs a neutronium. That is harsh. Harsh. Okay, let me think. I can still use resources for sure. I got 3 uranium and a titanium. But what would I buy? Let's take a look. What would I buy? These power plants, man. I need a power plant, that's for sure. I forgot to do the paradox phase in this round. That's important. That's not fun. I've already cheated myself out of stuff, and I'm already halfway through the first round. I don't know if that's quite on. You'll have to tell me if that's like phony balloons. But I completely missed right after power up. I forgot to put warp tiles on the old timeline. How cheaty is that? Seems pretty cheaty. Oh well. For the sake of showing you how it works, let me do it. So before I started placing everybody, after I powered up my exosuits, it's always a weird kind of like order of operations. You've got a whole pile of tiles, and the greatest upgrade to this game is going from cardboard tiles to these resin ones, because what you're supposed to do is pick up to 2 of these tiles, could be 0, could be 1, could be 2, to get stuff from yourself in the future. So you close them up in your hand, and then your dirty, sweaty hand is getting all schmutz all over them, and then you go, ha-ha, and reveal which ones you chose. So going with plastic with these is fantastic. Good choice, Mindclash. That's usually how you get perplonium. Yeah, early in the game it is, isn't it? Yeah, all right. So, okay, so I would choose... and then the other thing that's going down here is these tiles are double-sided. I feel like I'm throwing like a bazillion things at you. These tiles are double-sided. In the just base generic game, they look like this. But I really like these sides where they add jazz. So, some good things and some bad things. And it goes in player order. So you just, if I picked 2 and the bad guy picked 1, his 1 would go there, then I would put my 2 there. But if he got 2, he'd go 2 and I'd go here. So he'd get 2 benefits, I'd get nothing, and I would get consequence. So I think it's really neat. It makes the reveal your chits part really kind of interesting. So the safe thing for me to do here, the safest thing would be for me to only pick 1 thing. So the way the bad guy decides is you take this die, which usually decides on the paradoxes you get in a different phase, and you roll it. So he's going to have 1 on the timeline. So that means that he gets a point. I assume he collects these points. And then mine goes down here, so I also get a point. I collect that point. And I get a neutronium cube. Great. So that's how that phase was supposed to work before I started playing, before I started taking actions. Right, catching back up to where I was doing, I was going to place a worker from, I've got three exosuits left, and I have 2 workers. Uh-oh. Oh no, which means I have to recruit, essentially. It means I have to recruit or else I won't be able to use all of my suits. So that kind of solves that for me. I have to go here. I have to pay the water because I'm on sort of the crappier space. And I'm going to pick either an engineer or a scientist. I kind of don't want either, but since breakthroughs are so important in this game because it ties into an endgame goal, I'm going to take a scientist and 2 water. And they come back to you awake. So they go into your wakey time column over here. And what did I say? 2 water. So I'm up 1 water from that little transaction. Great. Over to the bad guy. The bad guy is going to roll the die. Really, it's me rolling for the bad guy. And the bad guy rolls a 5. So we take the 5 and we follow the arrow. And there's already 1 there, so we bump it out of the way. And and 5 goes down here, and we do this. So the bad guy wants to research. So I'm going to take, he's got 2 exosuits left. He's going to go on the research space here in the capital. And then you always roll the shape die, and he doesn't really care about the symbol, is I believe the way it works. So he's going to get a triangle breakthrough of any kind, doesn't matter. So I'll grab the triangle breakthrough, and he collects them. Where does he collect them? He collects them down here. So that's worth 1 point to him. Man, he's just getting points like crazy. It's worth 1 point to him, and if he gets a set of all 3 shapes, then that's worth an extra 2 points per set at the end of the game. Only scientists left. Yeah, I know, right? It's I don't have a guy to recruit with. Oh, yeah, right. I can't recruit with a scientist. Oh, no. I got to undo that. That's right. Thank you for keeping me honest. That was no good. So that means I give back the 2 water and I get a water. So I've done the water thing correctly. Instead of doing that, I get to go twice in a row. Shoot, I can't recruit. So I've wasted. That was bad planning on my part. I put 5 suits down. I only have 4 people. Although I could. Hang on now. Wait a second. So I could. Oh, it seems like such a waste. Seems like such a waste to wake that 1 genius up, right? Because everybody's coming back tired. Oh, what would you do? Would you wake the genius up just so you could use the suit? I think I would. It feels bad. It feels real bad. I'm going to do it the harsh way. So I'll do that and I'll wake this genius up. And that was a free action. And then for my first of 2, I'll take this genius and I will go. Well, now recruiting isn't so important, is it? I've got a worker. Your morale should be 1 to the right. You would think so. However, with this path, it starts here. It doesn't start in the middle. So, oh, you're right. You are right, though. I've only woken once. Correcto. Thank goodness. All right. Omelet, man, keeping me honest. Holy cow. Thank goodness for that. We don't want a repeat of the terraforming Mars incident, do we? Okay, great. You have to go watch that video to find out what happened. It wasn't pretty. Let me think. Right, so I have the neutronium that I need. Yeah, so the thing to do is definitely to go up here to the other capital space, pay the 1 water. Though it doesn't have to be with my genius. Get out of there, genius. Let's put the scientist in there. The scientist goes there, and I pay 1 water because the spot demands it. And I'll take the construct action, and I will pay over here. I have to pay 1 neutronium, 2 titanium. Oh, but if I used, yeah, I'm going to play the genius in there, because if the genius is going to stand in for the engineer so that I get a discount. Ooh. All right, neutronium and 1 of these and 1 water. In order to build as follows, 1 of these 2 power plants. So I like this one because it gets me bigger distance, it gets me a point, and it lets me remove a warp tile, which is very nice. So I won't have to go back in time and get rid of that for myself. Of course, I won't get the points for doing it either. But Shazam, and then we go down here to the warp tile. It's going to come back to me. Yada da 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 da. Pretty good. All right, and now I get to go again because I shorted myself a turn last time. So this is, I'm down to just 2 suits, 1 in my hand and 1 up there in the corner of my board. Ryan shortchanged himself in some way. I didn't see it, so he'd have to say, oh, the terraforming Mars incident sounds like a movie. It should be, really. It should be. In a world where components are cheap and game graphics are pulled from stock photography websites. 1 game. It's mean. I do like that game. I just, like everybody's complaint about it is that, like, come on. Hire an artist. So I guess they took all the money they made from terraforming Mars and they made Ares Expedition where they did hire an artist, which is sure. Great. But they came out with that game like the day after they had milked me for all my money on the Terraforming Mars big box. And they're like, here, by the way, here's a game that plays a lot nicer and faster and you'll enjoy it a whole lot more than the thing you just blew all kinds of money on. Like, thanks, gang. Yeah, great. Great. Yeah, sorry, what happened with Terraforming Mars when I played was that I misread one of the rules and yeah, I shortchanged myself like, a lot of income, like $20 or something throughout the course of 5 or 10 rounds, and it would have made a huge difference, I think. Because these games, they spiral, right? You start out with stuff and then you invest it and your investment grows. So who knows what a missing $1 or $2 earlier in the game would have butterfly affected out towards the end of it. I've got this guy, he's a scientist. Scientists have an advantage going up here. Gaining water seems like a waste. Although it does also seem like, wow, man, I want to recruit, but scientists can't recruit. It's so terrible. Terrible scientists. Why are you so useless to me? I'm sorry. I can hear quaking inside the suit. Thanks for the question, Goober, by the way. And welcome. Thank you for chatting, too. First time chatter. Look at that. Long time lurker? Hope so. Let me see. Can you guys hear that background music, by the way? That's not too loud. Let me know. I can't always tell when it's in my ear. Hopefully it's just ambient. Hopefully it's not so ambient that you can't hear it. I think taking resources is the thing because I'm down to only 1 titanium. Yeah, I'll do that, although it doesn't seem like the best use of my time. I'll take a gold and I'll take a titanium and put that over in my collection. I don't know. Maybe I was overzealous and I charged up too many suits this time. A gold and a titanium. Okay, back to the robot. The robot rolls. Robot has 1 suit left. Robot's going to go 3. So 3 moves and the robot just straight up gets points. That's what that does for the robot. Twit. Okay, great. Do not hear the audio. Wow, my goodness, this whole time I had fancy space music playing. Let's crank that right up. All right. Please let me know about volume levels while we play. Back to me. I'm down to my final suit for Era 1 and my final scientist. Now, what I could do is I could go to Trade Land and trade in some of the resources I just got in order to get water or neutronium. Why would I do that? I don't think I would. Although I know water is very important to me because water allows me to power up suits, so maybe that's a good expenditure of my dude. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've played very poorly this era. Terrible. Still no music, but I'm scared of how loud it's going to be. Oh my goodness. You're right. Hold on, I can fix that. If I can see properly. Oh, I see. Here we go. Well, we got to get this going because without this in its proper spot, we won't hear anything. Here we go. Which means that you didn't hear the robot dance music when the robot was dancing. Oh, I can see the level coming up. Right about there. Let's say there. How's that sound? Let me know. Is it spooky? We'll play some robot music. We'll redo the robot dance just because I feel that DJ Monkey was shortchanged. Can hear it, not overpowering. Great, perfect. Great, so that's everybody's suits gone, though. I do have the ability to use my special power, which lets me put a guy in space. I don't got no guys left. They're all tied up in suits, so I can't do that. I can't use either of these 2 spaces. Would it be nice to use this one this time? So I think that's it. So the next thing that's going to happen is, after the action rounds, we retrieve all the workers, we check for impact, we check for game end, and we go to the next era. So retrieve all the workers, all the bad guy. Oh no, does he have one more guy? I think he has one more guy. Oh no. That guy gets to do one more thing? Really? Does he get to do one more? No, I think that last action took a suit. I think that took a suit. Did that take a suit? Did that action that he did take a suit? Oh, I might have to double check. I hope he doesn't keep a suit. Get to do one more thing. Oh my gosh, that would be terrible. Let me just double check. Be awful. Uh-oh, it does not place a suit. Ah, so he's still got one suit left. So we do roll for him. Awful. 5 again. 5 goes up here, so we do this thing. He gets to build something, but because both build actions and both of these spots are taken, he doesn't get to build, which means that he just takes 1 point. Well, this is going to be rough. And he loses the suit. That was the advancement in the Chronossus over the Chronobot, is the Chronobot got to hang on to the suit. Thank goodness the Chronossus loses the suit when that happens. Okay, all right. So, I'm going to take everybody back. So, it's easiest just to take the bad guys' suits back like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bad guys' robots are back. Now, my guys, you want to make sure when you pull all your guys back that you're pulling guys who are staying motivated and they stay motivated. So everybody's going to go sleepy time, except if you use an engineer here, he goes into the awake column. So we'll put him over there. He's awake. And back here, you go asleep, you're asleep, you're asleep, because you're asleep. You're asleep. So these are all my sleepy column guys. 3, 4. So that's everybody. Take all my suits back, put them up in the corner. Cool. Now I will not mess this up. Here we go. Down here in the timeline now, it's the next era. So you get to go over here, and this is now the era that we're in. This is the present day, and you flip over the next superconductor or super project, which is the quantum stabilizer. I've had this before. One time and one time only, it lets you remove 3 warp tiles from the timeline. Pretty nice depending on what your strategy is. But then again, you can't go back in time, remove them yourself, and earn points for doing so. And, just to refresh, we've got some endgame cards that give us points for removing stuff and going up in that time travel track. Great, back to here. So, check for game end. The game is not ended yet, so preparations. So now we go up here. We're going to scrap these, and we're going to scrap this, and we're going to scrap all the people who are available to be hired, because fresh cards come out. This one is a fresh one, and this one is a fresh one. So that means that, ooh, look, a neutronium is available. Hopefully the bad guy doesn't get it before I do. That's very valuable. And then 2 gold and a uranium and a titanium on the bottom. And then over on the other side, 1 of each. And like I say, after impact, neutronium becomes more plentiful. The top spot is always taken up by neutronium after impact. So that is, that's the mine all filled up. And now if we go over here, we're going to put, per the card, 1 scientist, 2 administrators, thank goodness, because I need to hire an administrator this round, because I have none, and 1 genius at the bottom. And then over here at the buildings, you flip over the next tile so that there's always choice of 2 buildings at the beginning of the round. Alright, so what do they do? This one is expansions. Sorry that crept in there. It was the wrong color even. So let's pay uranium and water to get a neutronium and a point, and we've seen that one before. That's whenever you wake anybody up the nice way, or either way, the water cost is halved to do it. Or actually, sorry, that's the nice way because it doesn't cost any water, the mean way. And then this is it adds 2 to your power plant, so it enhances the, ooh, that's actually pretty good considering that end game goal. something to think about, yet extends the range of your power plant by 2. And I think it would count towards that endgame goal here where you're counting up the range of your power plants. I'm pretty sure. All right. Great. So that was all the buildings. The paradox. We go down here and the player with the most warp tiles on each timeline rolls for paradoxes. So we take this thing and we roll. And it's a 1, so the bad guy gets 1, because the bad guy has the most warp tiles here. So the bad guy over here gets 1 paradox. Where are our paradoxes piling up here? Right here, underneath the die. And if the bad guy collects 3 of these, the bad guy gets an anomaly, which is bad. For the bad guy, good for me, because that knocks off points off of the bad guy. Very nice. Now, I believe the bad guy might actually get to remove that tile. Let me just double check. That would be very bad. Only if it gets an anomaly. All right, so we're good. Great. Bad guy's still first player, so the bad guy's gonna roll. Era 2. If you want to set a marker, if anybody's watching, !M space Era 2. We can use Roman numerals to be all fancy. It's a 2. Speaking of 2s, the 2 goes up here, kicking the 4 out. The 4 goes down here. So the 4 and the 2 are going to swap places. So we're going to do this. So, oh crap. Of course. Actually, you know, we haven't powered up yet, and we haven't. Oh my gosh, I'm skipping phases. So that's going to happen. But first, let's power up. So we're gonna dig into this bag and see how many +3 suits the bad guy is gonna power up. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. So the bad guy is gonna power up 3 + 1. So these 2 get kicked out of the game, and the 1 dead one goes back in the bag. So 4 suits for the bad guy. Got him. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the wings, ready to go. Now I get to choose how many suits I want to power up. Difficult decision. Well, I only have 1 guy. I'm going to have to use that guy to wake everybody up. Though I don't mind going down to the morale track right at the beginning and then using my abundant water to go up. So, how many people do I have total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to power up more than 5 suits. That's the mistake I made last time. Well, that one's a no-brainer. So is that one. So is that one. I could pay... Yeah, why not? 4, so I'm going to pay my last energy core. And then, yeah, sure, go for broke. I'm going to pay 3 water in order to place that guy there. Because that's kind of what I get to do. Although I kind of ran out of things for my suits to do last turn, didn't I? Might be a mistake. We'll see. Okay. That's my suits powered up. And then we're going to warp phase it. So take all the tokens, the triangular tokens, and decide what you want to borrow from future you. Hello, a cup of sugar, please. So I need 4 more buildings in order to meet my evacuation condition. I'll always work towards that evacuation condition. Let's see. What do I want for myself? Uranium is always good. I think I have all my resources are at the top of my board and they're being blocked by my suits, so I'm going to move them down here a little bit so I can see what I've got going on. Little waters are so sticky. Much better. Anybody else hiding back there? No, that's it. So that's what I got. Alright. Better. Back to this. What do I want? What do I want to do? Let's look at these buildings again. I really like this wakey uppy for half the water. That's really nice. I've used that to good effect before. And that would cost me over here 1 uranium, 2 water. It's pretty good. I should probably try for that. I like it. I like it. Though also having a source of neutronium is really good too in the gray stack. In order to do that, I would need gold, which I have. So I can build both of those this round. That'd be pretty good, and then I'd be 4 spots towards the finish line. Although that red one, yeah, if I could build both of those buildings, that'd be really good. So what would I need? I've got this stuff. So one technique in the game that it took me a couple of plays to sort of like really figure out is that you don't always want to borrow stuff from yourself that you don't have. Sometimes you want to borrow stuff that you have in abundance because it's really easy then to just travel back in time and pay it back to yourself, right? And then get the points for it. So that's what I think I'll do this round. I'll focus on paying myself something that I already have lots of. So like water seems to be the obvious thing. And we should also take a look at what's going on in the timeline. So I'm not really safe. If he rolls a 0 or a 1, I'm good. If he rolls a 2, no good. I'm only really safe to ask for one thing. So I think I will only ask for one thing. And even still, I'm not guaranteed to not get a paradox consequence. So I'm only going to put out one thing. We'll see what the bad guy does. He's going to roll, and he puts out one thing. Okay, so we're good. So he gets 1 triangle on here. I get 2 water, which I can pay back quite easily. That was the warp phase. And now it's actions time. So the robot, as we saw, rolled and did what? We moved the 2 up, so the robot gets to go to the mining action, which is a stinker because there's some valuable stuff over there. So over here in the mining area, the robot, I'm pretty sure the robot's going to go. Oh no, it actually depends. So the robot gets 2 things. What 2 things does it want? It wants the purple one and it wants the green one. So the spot that it's going to take is this top one so that it can grab this and grab the neutronium back to the robot board. So purple goes up here, green goes up here. Remember, as soon as it fills all the way up, it dumps it down the pooper and gets 5 points. Yikes. To me. After some delicious water, Nights Around a Table live stream brought to you by water. And in this case, Mindclash Games for sending me this awesome kit. Okay. The very first thing, this stinks too, right? Like you don't get to just charge in and start doing stuff because I have to wake people up. Actually, I'm going to wake them up the mean way. Might as well do that right now. This path token comes back. I'm playing it. I'm waking them up the nasty way. So everybody comes over here. Now, I definitely need to build, but I also need to conscript. I need more people. So who likes to hire? See, this is a trick now because over here I can play my engineer. I don't have an administrator. I can play my engineer, but the engineer can't hire geniuses, and it would be really nice to get that genius. So I would have to play my genius in order to get that genius. But I think that's maybe a worthwhile play, so that's what I'll do. I'll put my suit here with the genius in it and hire this genius, and now the genius gets one of these 3 bonuses, so either a point, a core, or 2 water. And I think I'll take, of those 3 things, a core. And any worker that you hire comes to your awake column like they're ready to rumble. So that's that over the robot. It's a 4. So 4 moves over here, and the robot is going to do the mining action again, you greedy thing. Okay. So I'll take one of the robot suits. Let's see what the robot wants. Chronossus wants gold and then titanium. Uh-oh, this is gonna hurt. Holy points, Batman. Ay. Okay, so it wants gold and titanium over here on the robot board. Gold, titanium, that all gets swept into the John, and the robot earns 5 points. Yikes, shnikes. I don't think I'm earning points at this rate at all. Do you? Do you think I'm earning points at this rate? I don't think so. I'll take a suit. And now I think it's time to build. It's time to build. Definitely crucial. So I'm going to put it there with an engineer inside. Another way I played this game incorrectly, maybe my first 2 times, was that I back in my home board I loaded up my suits with workers because I was still kind of stuck on Tricarian, and I thought that's how it worked. You put all your workers in the suits, and then you're committed to putting those specific workers in those suits onto spaces. But no, the suits stay empty until you actually decide where to put them on the board, and then at that point, that's when you figure out which worker you're going to stick in there. Great, so here we are, we're going to build what's the most important thing to build right off the top. Looking at the buildings, seeing as how my morale is rock bottom, I think this is the one that I want to go with. So it's going to cost me a green, 1 silver, and 1 water. That's half of my evacuation conditions solved. And now, whenever I wake anybody up the kind way, which I'm going to have to start doing like next round, I can pay half the water rounded up to do it. Great. Ooh, to the robot. 3 moves over. And the robot just straight up gets 2 victory points. You lousy so-and-so. Oh man, these points are really piling up over here. Okay. I'm going to take one of my suits, and the other thing that I wanted to do very desperately was to build again. It's mission critical, so that's going to cost me a water to go there. And the thing that I wanted to build was, though I'm going to want to recruit too. Save it. Okay. The thing that I'm going to build is the... I said it was one of these, wasn't it? Yeah. Having a way to get neutronium would be super handy. So that I can build power plants? Is that what I really want to do? Think. This is 2 free water. That's a free suit every single... Oh no, it costs 3 water for me to get a powered up exosuit. Still, that's pretty good. I shouldn't be looking underneath it. There's a secret what's under there. And a point. One thing that I haven't looked at yet is really what the super projects are doing for us so far. So this is whenever you go mining with a tectonic drill, you get an extra resource. This one says whenever you take one of these, oh, you can play a guy here and pay 2 water to take one of these actions. That's pretty spicy. That's a pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. And I could almost afford that this round. No, I couldn't because I don't have the breakthroughs, but that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good when you're fighting a robot. Oh man, could I do that? I have 2 uranium, I have 1 gold, so I need another gold. And I would need a specific breakthrough or 2 breakthroughs. That's hard to do. That's tough. And I'd have to do it all this round. So that would be... I don't think I could do it. That would be 2 guys for the breakthrough, and then like 1 guy for the gold, and I don't have the gold guy. No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it this round, which means I would have to travel back in time to do it. But I will be traveling back in time anyway, so that's a thing. That's a thing. It's only 4 points though, but it would be super useful. Oh man, it would be super useful. I think I should go for this. So that means that my turn, I'm going to power up a suit and take one of these breakthrough spots right here. So here's the situation. You get to set 1 die to whatever you want and roll the other one. So they've always got it set up so that, okay, so like, you know, down here it can take 2 breakthroughs, a square and a triangle with any symbol on it, or the circle with the specific DNA symbol on it. So they've always set it up so that if you try for the circle with the DNA symbol on it and you don't get it, you get a circle with some other symbol on it and it's a 1 in 5 chance, then you don't have the other 2 that you need to just dump in there to get the thing. So it's set up quite cleverly, but I'm going to try for it. So I'm going to set this to a circle, and and I'm going to roll this die. And I did not get it. I got the clock, but you need the clock for this one, and it's worth 6 points, so maybe that's okay. So that's what I get, one of those guys, and I'm going to put it over here by my board. The robot goes 5. The robot is going to go. This goes up here. Robot's just going to get a power core. All right, so the power core, when it gets a power core, it takes one of the energized ones that came out of the bag and it goes back in the bag. So there's more chance of it powering up suits later. Back to my turn. I'm going to take my last suit and I could use resources. I could also build, no, but I want to hang on to that stuff. Yeah, basically I need gold. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna take this and a gold. Bad guy goes. Bad guy has 2 suits left. And goes up here and is going to go build the red thing. So let's look at the red things. 3 points and 3 points. So when it has the choice, it always goes with the lower one. So it's like the one on the secondary stack. So it's going to grab this one right here. And it just gained 3 points. Oh my gosh, it's gaining points at just an alarming rate. Back to me. I don't have any suits left, but I do have the advantage of some buildings that take workers. So what I could do... What I could do is I could... Who do I want awake? I want my genius awake for sure. So I'll put my genius here and pay a uranium in order to get 6 water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can say the waters are very sticky. Stick to my lizard hands. Okay, great. That water situation is looking pretty darn good. Over here to the robot. The robot rolled a 5, and the 5 goes... The 5 is a black arrow. It goes down here. So it gets to hire someone and gets a point. Let's put the point on there. And hiring... It's going to go here, and it's going to hire... What does it want? It wants an administrator, so it's going to get that administrator and put it in its little people collection, which it'll swallow, I think, whole, like a giant python or some disturbing creature. Great. Hey, Oberon. Glad you could join us. And now, right, back to me, so I can still place workers on my little buildings over here. I only have one other building where I can do that, which is, well, I can do it with my special power, but I don't have other buildings to do it on. So I could do it up here and travel back in time, but I wouldn't have anything to do except if I bought the tectonic drill. But I don't have the specific breakthrough to do it, and I don't have these two, so, and I would lose, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Well, I can't do that. So I think I have to pass. So back to the robot. The robot has 1 suit left. We're going to roll for the robot. And it's a 3. Shazam. So the robot just came from here. The robot's going to build a super project. Oh no. So it's just going to cough up like anything. I think this is how it works. It coughs up 1 breakthrough and it just builds the super project over one of the timeline tiles. Let me just triple check because this is the first time that has happened. Made it at last. When building a super project, says the robot, I got to screw you over entirely. Remove anomaly, build super project. Describes breakthrough tile of any shape or icon, and then down here, sorry, there we go. Takes the highest VP face-up super project for any era, oldest if tied. So there's 2 that are worth 6, so it's going to grab the one that I was just musing over not being able to afford. Hi-yi-yi. It just earned 6 points. Well, we can see how this game's going to go, but it does lose that breakthrough. It's nuts. So it loses the 1 point breakthrough. No consolation there. Great. Okay, so let me just finish out this round. Clean up, retrieve workers. All right. Is anybody staying awake? You're asleep. You're asleep. You're asleep. And I clearly forgot to place somebody in here, but it was supposed to be an awake engineer. So these three guys go to sleep, and we take this guy back who's also awake, and the path marker goes up here. So then the bad guys, let me get the suits. Suit. And suit. And suit. And in bad guy land, these three suits come back. Oh, bad guy has one more suit left. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that possible? The bad guy has one more suit left? Does the bad guy use a suit in buying a super project? Please tell me he does. That's madness if it doesn't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it does. It would have gone to the, because it remains first player, it would have gone to the construct thing, right? You need to go to the construct thing in order to build a super project. It's all good. It's all good. Nobody cheated. It's fine. Least of all the robot. Nobody wants that. Cool. All right. So that's everybody returned. Retrieve workers, check for impact. The impact down here at the bottom has not happened yet. We've not reached that meteor, not reached the meteor tile quite yet. And then the next era, we move on to the next era. So that means my path marker moves along here to era 3. If you want to hit marker for era 3, you know what though? I have been feeling terribly under the weather, not terribly under the weather, but enough under the weather that it's been bothering me. And I thought, I hope I can make it to the stream tonight because I'm feeling a little bit off. And now as I'm playing, we made it to era 3, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the game in this stream. I've never had to do this before, so I don't know how streamers handle it, but I'm feeling unwell. So I wondered if you'll give me a bit of grace and maybe take a rain check on this. Maybe I can continue it tomorrow night or at some point during the day. My tremendous apologies, but I'm a human being and sometimes we don't feel super well. Usually with me it's like a caffeine withdrawal thing, but this time it's not. And it's not COVID, thank goodness. I hope it's not COVID. I haven't been anywhere to catch COVID. Oh, maybe I have. Do they have COVID at Walmart? Do they stock it there? No. Probably. They've got lots. I think they've got plenty. You know, they order it in bulk and then they do a price rollback, so it's easier to get it there. Yeah, but I'm going to put this game on pause and pick it up at era 3 the next time we sit down to play together. Thank you very much for joining me so far, and I think I can last the minute 30 that it takes in order to raid somebody. So if somebody's got a suggestion about who we can jump over to, who's streaming tonight that we can go raid, let me know. Is anybody queued up? Nobody's queued up. In the story over, you just got here, and I gotta bail. It's like John Lennon said in like his last concert he performed with Elton John, and he said, "We're gonna do one more song so that I can get out of here and be sick." I feel a little bit like that. John Lennon, by the way, did not die of any illness, as we know. Nobody knows. Okay, well, let me go on the prowl for somebody who might be streaming right now. We're on my keyboard. Whew. Yeah, I don't know what happens when you stream and you don't feel well. I think that's what you gotta do. You're just gonna say, peace out, twitch.tv. I did try. I was in bed earlier today. Who's doing something interesting? Let's see. Let's raid. Oh, this is Blood on the Clock Tower. Czech Games Edition. I do like Czech Games Edition. They're throwing burrito. They're playing. Czech Games is playing throw burrito. That doesn't seem right. I think that we should raid. Oh, we usually raid tail wagging games. So let's raid somebody else. Oh, I was like, wow, somebody else is playing Anachrony. That's you, dummy. That's you. That's your stream. All right. Let's see. A couple of Spanish things. We're going to try to throw to somebody who's doing something in English. Let's see. Any suggestions here? I should duck over to chat. No, nobody's paying attention. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Perfect time for me to sneak out. Garrick Samples Games. Garrick Samples Games. Let's do that. Let's raid Garrick Samples Games. My mouse cursor is clearly not feeling super hot either. I'm trying to click on the right areas. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Garrick. Then my caps lock is on. Whew. Not a good night for old Rai. Garrick Samples Games. Raid queue. Let's see if that works. Hopefully that works. Great. I can tell you a little bit about what's coming up. I received a message from somebody on our word, on a certain other social media platform, who said, like, are you going to do anything that isn't live streams? Because I don't really like live streams, and I hope you do more short form edited content. I will be doing more short form edited content, as a matter of fact, but those videos, as you can imagine, take a whole lot of time to put together. These do too. I mean, it's hours to set up a stream like this, but it's more time to do the edited stuff for sure. So I am working on short form edited stuff, and I'm working on a bunch of how to play videos for you. I have one that I want to do on my own, and two that are commissioned by other publishers that I think that you'll enjoy very much, and actually a third one waiting in the wings that's going to be coming out in February. So 2 in early January, and then one that I'm hoping against all hope to get out this month for a game that I think that you'll be very interested in. So look forward to all of that. Find the Fun stuff still coming up, and I had one video that I wanted to put out during Uwe Rosenberg month that I wasn't quite able to squeak out, and that's a Bits Please video where I'm doing a cool insert for Feast for Odin. So hopefully I can get that one on the channel very shortly. So don't unfollow because I'm not currently doing stuff that you're going to be interested in, because I will eventually. And thank you again for your patience and love and trust. Coming up, Garrick something games. See you next time. And we're back. Welcome once again, friends, to the Anachrony solo playthrough. If you caught the last stream, you would have been there to see me bail out due to sickness. It was really strange. I had felt like a migraine coming on all day, and I thought, oh, I'll just power through this not so complicated worker placement game with the big programmed robot that you have to fight. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then I sat down, and the more I played, sort of like the sicker I felt, and I thought, I'm not going to be able to get through all 6, potentially 7 rounds of this game. So I had to skedaddle. But now here we are again. I'm fresh face and footloose and fancy free and ready to keep tackling the Chronossus, which is the robot that you have to fight in Anachrony. So let me just catch us up where we are. These are the rounds in the game. There are 7 of them, but you don't necessarily play all 7 of them because the game could end shortly in this phase, or sorry, they're called eras, in this era or this era. This is the era that we're currently in. That's my path marker. I am playing the Path of Harmony, as you can see over here on my player board. The Path of Harmony, they're the sort of hippie faction with the plant-based exosuits. So that's the situation there. I have a bunch of water, because water is very important to me, and a few resource cubes, and I've built a few buildings, which is also very important because when it comes time to evacuate, my evacuation condition is all based on the number of building slots I filled. I have to fill 6 in order to evacuate and get a bunch more points. So far 3, so I'm halfway there. Yay, the Elves of Rivendell. Wait a second, no, wrong game. I don't know what you're talking about. Right, so, or is that the song that you're naming over on? I have no idea what you're talking about. No, back to here. So we're in Era 3, and I'm facing up against this terrible, horrible opponent who just racks up a bazillion points every single round. So this is the Chronossus, and I'll show you. If you missed the first stream, I gotta go back era, way back, era -100. This is the, if you missed the first stream, you'll get to see how this robot plays in a little bit. Basically, you roll a die and pick and grab an action above a number. But so far, what the Chronossus has done, and my Chronossus is male, so I'll be referring to him as a he. He's built 3 buildings already. He's built a super project already. He's got some time travel points, and he's got this whole whack of points. He's just sitting there collecting. Well, I'm going to trade 5 of these in for a 5er, just so that it looks like fewer chits at least, although it's still the same horrifying amount of points. Let me just see here. Here's a 5er. Awful. So he's just got 11 just sitting there and just points. Now, he is cruising for a bruising as far as paradoxes go, which do earn him negative points, but he can only collect 3 paradoxes, so I can't really rely on that to grind his score down. He's just basically slaughtering me. So, once again, if you're the betting kind of viewer, the smart money is on not Ryan for this one, as usual. So I'm gonna we're going into Era 3, I'm gonna follow the game phase card, which looks like this, and just do a few setup things. So in the preparation phase, first thing we got to do is we have to get this mine figured out. So you got these cards up here that tell you which resources go in the mine. So this round, it's going to be a purple neutronium at the top, and then 2 gold, and then a uranium and a titanium. So that's what's available, and these 3 resources are always available. 3 gold. There we go. And then over here, you find out how many different types of workers go in the hireable area, which is right here. So it looks like we need 1 scientist. That's already there. 0 engineers. 2 of these administrators and 1 genius who acts like a wild worker, and you can put them anywhere. So that's all done. That's who's hireable. Cool. And then this is all good. This doesn't have to happen. But what else am I missing? Right, so all the buildings flip. Now, I mentioned this on the first stream, but this shot is rotated. So you see my hand go across, and really, like, if you look over here, it's this. I've just turned it like this, just so that you can see the buildings face up. And I can look at my monitor, and I can see them face up too. So the next thing we do is we take all the buildings, and we flip them up like that, so that there's new choices. And then we evaluate those new choices because they might help bail me out. I have a few things on my board that let me get water, but like, Turchi bots are unkind. No kidding. You know what else is unkind? Turchi himself. I've said it before and I'll say it again. That kid's a punk. All right, back. Hey, it's a subscription. Thank you so much, Materix01. I appreciate that for using your Prime subscription. What's that all about? Well, Materix01 has reminded me. So if you've got an Amazon Prime account, then you get 1 free subscription. Well, it just got shorter all of a sudden. You get, I just noticed there's not a lot of headroom in the shot. You get 1 free subscription to any channel on Twitch that you want. Matrix just chose this one. How generous. I get a tiny bit of money, and by tiny, how much? $2.50. But that's amazing. That's amazing. If I could only find 8,000 people to do that, I'd be laughing. Right now, I'm just crying. So if you have an Amazon Prime account and you want to lend your free subscription to this channel, I will get a tiny cut of the money, and you'll get a free $5 subscription, which you'll have to renew every month. That's the one drawback. So if you did it last month in November and you forgot to do it for December, go and click a couple buttons and make it happen. Then you'll see the exploding sheep and everybody will be happy. Not least of all, this guy. I know, says Oberon, that one day... Oh, Matrix says, big fan of your YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Now, the YouTube channel isn't doing what it once was, and that's because I've been focusing quite heavily on streams this past couple of months. I will get back to it. I will have more edited, shorter content stuff on YouTube shortly. As somebody said to me, somebody broke the news to me on another social media platform, said, you know what, I had to unsubscribe to you because I'm not really into live streams. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's devastating. I think I'll survive, but yeah, don't worry, I'll get back to it. It's fine. Oberon says, I know that one day we'll meet at a con, and you'll fall on your knees in awe, and he'll smack you for calling him a punk, and then he'll lead you over to his new game. That's Tertiary. You know what I'm more worried about is that I will come face to face with with Clemens Frauds at a con, and he'll punch me right in the snoot. That's kind of what I'm expecting, but I kind of deserve it for all the Clemens Frauds smack talk I've doled out over the years. Great. I'm just not a big fan of the guy's art, is all I have to say. It's not all I have to say, but give me a moment, I'll say more. Back to here, the buildings. Let's investigate the buildings for the next era. What's going on here? Pay water to go back in time a distance of 4 eras, up to 4 eras. That's a distance of 2. You don't have to pay water, but it does have to be a scientist. But the scientist comes back awake. Interesting. Here, pay anybody to get a gold. Pretty sweet. All of my stuff, I was going to say, all of my resource gathering things over here don't get me much in the way of anything. So this, I have to remember this. This lets me wake up my people nicely and pay half the water, which is very important because, look, I've been collecting water because I'm all the way down to the bottom of the morale track. So waking people up, if I shout them awake one more time, somebody dies. So let's try not to do that. And then over here I have one where I put a guy down who stays motivated, and I pay a uranium and I get 6 water and a point. Fine. And I've got one time travel thing, and then over here down on the time travel area, I've only got one more warp marker on there to go get, and I made sure that it was a water because that was one thing that I learned about this game. This is a game where you can borrow from yourself in the future, and I thought, okay, you borrow stuff that you don't have, but it's almost as advantageous or more advantageous to borrow stuff from yourself that you already have, because then it's easier to go back in time and pay it back to yourself. So that's why I borrowed water from myself, because I'm flush with water, pardon the pun. All right, Poppy says, come join us sometime on the Discord channel if you're interested. Yes, Matrix, absolutely. That's a great reminder, Poppy. This is the address for the Discord channel, and everybody there except one person is absolutely wonderful, and I'll leave you to fight about who that one person is who's not wonderful. I'm just kidding. Everybody's awesome. Everybody's awesome. Join us there. You have a good time, and we play board games together on Board Game Arena all the time. Right now, I'm in the middle of, or towards the end, actually, of a game of Agricola in a tournament that I suspect I'll win if the stupid site doesn't time out like it normally does. It's me, says Oberon. I'm a total jerk. No, you're not. You're great. That didn't bring up the usual message anyway. The address is around. Yeah, I just threw it on the screen, and every once in a while, I think what happened was you were expecting it to be automated, but Omelette, who usually moderates for us, like actually types in a command to make that thing happen, because there are a few commands that he can punch in to make stuff show up. Thanks, I don't use Discord much, but I'll join and check out the community. Really, I can't recommend it enough, and I know I'm not just whistling Dixie. It's great. It's a great place, and it's where the real magic of Untold Entertainment, Knights Around a Table lies. Untold Entertainment was the name of my video game company, and I always call this Untold Entertainment. No, Untold Entertainment is sadly 6 feet under, but that's fine. Maybe one day we'll rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Back to this game. Just make video games with Untold Entertainment. That was quite a thing. So we've set everything up. We looked at the buildings. I'm pretty interested building-wise in the ones that will get me something that's not water. So these are all, the blue ones are always like water-related plants. So these ones are tasty, especially this one. But the other thing that I'm super looking at is I had my eyes on this super project. Was it this super project or this super project? This one's worth 6 points, so I should really look at this one, although I don't really care for the effect of it, because you remove 3 warp tiles, but you don't get the time travel bonuses associated with it. So, yeah, not so much. The other thing that's going on is there are 3 endgame cards. You deal these ones special for a solo game. There's different ones for a multiplayer game. So they just give you points based on how you score on certain categories. So if you've researched a bunch of breakthroughs, if you've given 9 of them, you get 4 points, plus the points that the breakthroughs themselves are worth. So that, I mean, I've got my big stupid hand in the way, but that looks like a really good thing to do. And of course, since it's a really good thing to do, I have exactly 1 breakthrough. I haven't really paid attention. Down here, this is you add up all the errors that your time travel abilities let you go through, and you get points based on how many. So for example, over here on my board, I've got 3, and nothing else sends me back in time. So 3. So for 3, at the end of the game, I would get a zilcho points. I gotta have at least 6 to earn like 1 point. I don't think that's all that interesting. Down here, but this one stacks nicely against this one. This is points for time travel points. So over here, every single time you time travel and clear up a mess on the timeline, you go up here and you get points for it. So those two kind of like, you know, they go hand in hand and they stack nicely. All right, so much to think about. I'm going a little crazy. Great. So that was the preparation phase. Phase 2 is the paradox phase. So here's how the paradox phase works. You go through tile by tile, and whoever has the most of these warp tiles in each era has to roll this die. And this die has different, let me get in a little bit closer. This die has different symbols on it. Sometimes it's a blank, sometimes it's 1 paradox, and sometimes it's 2 paradoxes. And so you roll those, and when they build up to 3, like over here on the bad guy's board, if he gets 3 of those, then he gets an anomaly, and that siphons points off of him. Okay. So we're gonna roll for we always roll for the bad guy first, I believe. So he's got to roll twice. All right. Roll number 1, and he gets a paradox. So, where are the paradox? They're there. And I believe that it keeps rolling because I think you stop rolling when you get an anomaly. I believe that's how it works. So over here we both have to roll because we're split for it. So this will be his roll. And he gets 1. Hooray! I believe I did that right. If not, you don't stop rolling when somebody gets a paradox, do you? No, I think you stop rolling when somebody gets an anomaly. So he's got 3 of these paradoxes, so these all come off, and he incurs a bad anomaly. So these work, I'm using the variable anomalies from one of the expansions. So he always wants to take the one that's worth you know what, actually, I did not read the rule about which one he takes, but I'm just going to guess that it's the face-up one, because he takes the face-up building when it's building time, and that goes down there and knocks him down 2 points. I think that's how it works. I almost want to check, though. You know, when I was doing the Trickarian stream, I had to pledge to people, like, normally I try to keep rules out of this thing because nobody wants to watch a guy just checking his rulebook every 5 seconds, but there is too much going on with the Turchy robot to internalize it all and memorize it, I think, anyway, for an unedited thing. So let me just see what the rulebook has to say about anomalies, variable anomalies. He ignores all the unique effects. When receiving anomalies, the Chronossus will select one that will allow it to retrieve a warp tile. Oh, okay, well, let's put that back because maybe I grabbed the wrong one. If both or neither do, does anything let him? Yes, this one lets him and this one lets him. So if both or neither do, it will select the one with the smaller VP penalty. They both have the same VP penalty. Okay. So I guess it doesn't, I'm going to say it doesn't matter. So this one does let him remove an anomaly. See that? It's got the little remove anomaly thing. So down here, and he always, when he removes an anomaly, he always removes, a warp tile, he always removes the one from the oldest timeline. So he's going to get rid of that one. Cool. Now I have to roll for my past sins, and I get a paradox. That's fine. That's fine. Over here on my player board, it's going to go right up here. That's only 1 of 3, so I'm not too worried about that. Great. Thanks for lurking, Poppy. All right. So that was the paradox phase. Now we are going to power up, which means you choose how many suits you're going to stick on your little gas up. Like this is like if you own an electric vehicle, you'd be, plugging it in the garage in one of these spots. Any spot you leave uncovered gets you water. I'm going to place how many? Well, let's just take a tour of what I actually need to do. I definitely need to keep buying buildings. In order to keep buying buildings, I need cubes. And I really wanted that building that goes in here. So I need 1 gold and 1 titanium and 1 water. So I'm good at least for like two of those gray buildings at the very least. I want to use this green one to use this to get more water. That's fine. I need to use some of my water to wake people up this round. All good. Time travel, yes, I do want to time travel. So none of that involves suits. So this stuff involves suits, so I want to build very badly. So I want to build at least twice. So that's 2 dudes that I definitely want to put on my board. I was just talking about this game with somebody over the weekend, and we agree it does not need minis at all, but the ones it has are pretty darn cool. I haven't painted them yet, but I'm dying to. Look how cool. I was looking at some pictures today of painted ones, and they look so good. Okay, so at least 2. Might as well go 3 because this spot is essentially free. And I have 1 energy core, so I can place 1 more, but I would need to pick up more energy cores this round. Now, are there any buildings that get me energy cores? I'm going to reach an energy core crisis is going to be the big problem. But I can trade in water for energy cores with a suit. Gee whiz, that's tricky. I haven't seen anything flip by that gives you energy cores. I'm wondering if I should just save it, because the ability that my people have is I can pay water instead of energy cores in order to charge up his suit. I'm gonna go 4 suits because I only have 6 guys, so that's 4 and then 2 more in the buildings. That looks pretty good, right? Okay, so pay my 2 water, and that's what I'm gonna do. Over here in the Chronossus land, Chronossus has a bag, and this bag has like energy cores in it. So Chronossus, before impact, before the meteor hits, which is right here, hasn't happened yet, Chronossus is always going to place 3 suits plus X. So you roll the... Oh, have I forgotten how to do this since Friday? Oh no. You roll the paradox die, I believe. Oh no. I think it's the paradox die. And that's how many more. I got it. Oh, it's so close. I thought I had this all completely internalized. Oh, thank you so much for the subscription, Jim, who can't see this because it's not airing on YouTube right now, but it will. And if you watch it back, you'll be like, hey, that's my name. I didn't expect to see myself there. Appreciate your subscription on YouTube. Okay. I've completely bunked. Okay. I've lost it. I've lost it completely. Okay. Oh, you just draw 3. You just straight up draw 3. There's no rolling of a die. That's why I was getting confused. So I'm going to draw 3. That's going to decide it's going to be 3 plus X. So 3 plus piece of thread, 3 plus 0. Fantastic. So he only gets 3 suits. 2 of these go away, and 1 debtor always goes back in the bag. So that's the situation with the Chronossus. So let's go over to Chronossus land and queue up 3 suits. That's great because these suits block stuff that I want to do, and they get the Chronossus points, and I don't want that to happen. Cool Mo Beans. Now, the phase that I always forget to do. It's the It's the warp phase. This is where you take a handful of these tokens and you pick up to 2 of them and you put them in your hand and you reveal them. Now the Chronossus is going first. Let's just see what's shaking down here. So it is advantageous to me. So if he, okay, let's say if I do 2, if he does 1 and I do 2, then I get a point. If he does 2 and I do 2, then I go down on the morale track, and that would be very bad because I would kill somebody, and killing people is bad. Ryan Creighton, 2021. Okay, let me think. So it's too much to risk. I only want to put 1 up and risk not getting a point, but like, come on. I can't kill somebody. That would be awful. What am I going to pick? Oh man. Let me think. Let me think. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna grab this one. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because I think if my plan all comes together and I get this building, then I'll be able to make one so that I can go back and pay it back to myself. That's my reasoning. Isn't that a good idea? This totally 1,000% needs the minis. Yeah, the mech tiles. Oh my gosh, have you seen, Oberon's right, if you've seen the mech tiles, they're just flat hexagons with shapes for the workers in the middle. They're very, yeah, I would, if it was Christmas morning is all I'm saying, and I opened Anachrony and it was the version without the mechs, I would definitely cry and call out a hit on Santa. I think that's what I would do. Like, hello, $15,000 to off Santa. You know what he did? It's about Anachrony. The hitman would be like, oh my gosh, you can't be serious. Christmas joy, murdering Santa. Great, down here, so he's gonna place first. How many does he place? This is when we roll the die. So he's gonna put 2. Thank goodness that I didn't put 2. And thank goodness now he gets a point for doing that. Stupid jerk. And I get to put mine down here, so I get a point. Stupid jerk. And I get a neutronium cube. Alright. I love it when a plan comes together. As long as I get to build before he does, everything will go swimmingly. Okay. just gonna take a little sip. Great. Now, it's time for the actions phase. Are you ready? Here's how it works. Over here, we roll the Chronossus' die, and it says 4. And we look for the thing with the number 4 on it, which is this. We do this thing, and we move 4 along. So this thing, he wants to go hire somebody and get a genius. And if he can't get a genius, he's going to go research. But look at this on the board. He can go hire somebody, so he's going to do that. He's only got 3 suits, thank goodness. So he's going to go here, and he's going to hire a genius. Oh no, but he doesn't want to hire a genius because over here on his board, he collects different people. So he wants an engineer and a scientist to finish up this collection. So maybe he doesn't want a genius. Let me just double check what that space tells us to do. Let's see. Perform a recruit action. Oh, who's following? It's Tim my G. Hello, Tim my G. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. As I always feel super self-conscious when I have to bust out the book. It's like, no, don't follow. Follow somebody else who doesn't have to read the rule book. But let me just double check. So this is what I'm looking at here. So when using this space, perform a recruit action only if a genius is available, and it is, taking it along with 1 VP, even if the Chronobot already has a genius. Oh, that's the condition that I didn't know. If no genius is available, perform a research action. So where do we put that extra genius is my question, because he only has spots for 1 of each worker over here. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Do we just stack the genius? Is that what happens? Well, let's just go back to the recruit step. He takes a worker type he doesn't have yet in the normal recruit step, following priority. It's unavailable, but it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not too sure where we put that genius. Does the genius go in the garbage? I'm not. I think what we'll do is he goes here for sure. He takes the genius for sure. He takes the points that the genius gets him. Big pile of points. I think instead of, since he can't hold it, I don't know, what would you say? I don't know if the rule book is explicit. Does the genius just stack on here? And when he gets all 4, everything but that extra genius gets swiped into the bucket? What do you think happens? It's a great question. I don't know. And I am without the resources to figure it out while I'm streaming. So, whatever, it's my turn. Definitely have to go over here and start behilding things. So I'm going to put one of my... Who likes to be there? It's the engineer. Oh, however... Yeah, no, that's fine. That's good. That's fine. It's all good. It's all fine. This is fine. So the engineer is here, which means I get to build something. So the thing that I want to build is that thing right there. And the cost to build it is on my board. So it's going to cost me 1 gold and 1 titanium. Because I'm using an engineer, I get a discount, and 1 water. So there's 1 water, there's 1 gold, there's 1 titanium. Woo! In order to throw the tile around the table. There we go. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Great. Fansmastic. I would really like to... I started the game with no administrators, and I still don't have any administrators. So I would love to take this spot and get an administrator. That would be probably a good idea. Anyway, let's go back to the Chronossus and see what this sneaky Yutz is up to. He's rolled a 3. The 3 goes down, it goes all the way back here to here, and he does this. So this means that he... I haven't done this one yet. What does this mean? He pays 2 resources or a titanium to remove an anomaly. Does he have those 2 resources or a titanium? I think if he can't do something, he just gets points. That's the usual thing. Let's just double check what he does here. It's remove anomaly. He discards any 2 resource cubes If he doesn't have an anomaly or the resources to remove one, he takes 1 VP instead. Yeah, he just takes 1 VP because he can't remove anything. All right, just racking up those points, robot. Okay, fine. Back to me. I'm going to take a suit. Yeah, and I think I need to hire. Should I build? No, I think I need to hire. I think I need to hire or doom. Doom. So, oh no, scientist cannot hire anyone. Thank goodness I got that figured out in time. So I'll use my genius here, and I'll pay a water because that's what the space requires. And I'll hire an administrator and take a point. I don't know, that wasn't part of my plan, but I think I need to do it. Now back to the Chronossus. Hello, I'm sort of here. Hi, Omelette. Thank you for sort of being here. I've missed your comments. Tasty neutronium in the mines. Yeah, you think it is there. This, the hitman would knock down the price after finding out why. Do you think so? Do you think we'd find a hitman with a heart of gold who would decide not to assassinate Santa? We need to figure this out because it's like we're scripting our own Hallmark movie at this point. What would that movie be called? A little boy orders a hit on Santa because he's disappointed with his Christmas present. Let me think. Let me think. I don't know. It'll come to me later on. I can't I can't think on streams basically, but I will come up with a good name for that movie. Geniuses are like pancakes. They stack. You think they stack, eh? You think he gets that extra one on top of there? But what happens when it comes time for him to cash in all those workers? Does he cash in this one, or does it sort of like stay? Does it stay and everything else goes down into the toilet? I don't even know what I was doing. Right, I was rolling for the... No. I was rolling for, this is his, he still has 2 suits left. That's bad because he didn't use them on his last turn. It's a 5-er. I think 5 is bad news. So the 5 follows the little dark squiggle and it comes from here. So he wants to go to research land. So he'll take a suit and he'll go over here to research land. He rolls the shape die. Yes, he does. Because the symbol to him does not matter at all. So, whoa, it's a circle. So he gets any circle, doesn't matter. We put that in his collection down here at the bottom of his board. Great, back to me. I'm gonna take one of my suits. No, I'm not. Let's go look at my board. I'm going to, I'm going to use a path marker to use my Leader Halani's special ability, which lets me put a guy in a space without using up an action, like a main action. So this means I get to pay half the water to wake everybody up. So that's 4 water divided by 2, which is 2 water, and I slide this puppy up and I wake everybody. So now I've got a scientist on the floor. Now I've got people to work with. That's great. That is superb. And now I feel a little bit more secure taking this guy and taking the engineer that I so desperately needed and putting him on the worker bot space, paying the water. Still have to go back in time, but I just, I'm focusing on these capital action spots because bad guy pigs them up pretty fast. Okay, so he's going to do that and we're going to build. And the thing we're going to build, it's going to be one of these 2 things. Aha! Oh, no. Oh, yes. Very yes. Very, very, very yes. I like. It's only worth 1 point. What's this one worth? 3 points. Because it's not as good. The worker stays motivated. He just gets straight up 1 gold, which isn't going to do... Yeah, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm just looking at the spots on my board, spots on my board that are going to require gold to build on. I've got 4 out of 6 things built, and a lot of other stuff requires gold. I only have 1 gold left, and I'm about to use it to build one of those 2 buildings. So, okay, whatever happens, I'm going to pay a titanium and 1 gold and 2 water. Getting low on the water in order to build one of those 2 buildings. Now, which one do you think? Which one would you build? As he grabs the water off the floor. This one or this one? I have no source of cores, is my big problem. That's the issue. This is worth more points. Feels like I should go for the points though, doesn't it? No, that's nuts. Go for the cores, Ryan, the cores. The cores will somehow get you points. Oh, that's agonizing. 214 looks great, says Amit. 214, yeah, you think, eh? It does require an engineer, but eventually my engineers are going to be done building. Okay, I'll go with what Amit says. I'll build 214. Shazam blam. Oh, though I'm building it, but I don't have... No, you know what? I'm going to... Yikes. What am I going to do? Oh, deliberation. Because I don't have a guy to put on it this round, that's one thing. So I can't even get the cores. Though I do have one core ready for the last pre-impact situation. Okay, well, I'll still go with what you said, Almond, because you were the only one to chime in. So let's roll for the Chronobot, the Chronossus. 3, Chronobot's the original bot. We'll go over here, and this makes him go to the build area and build a blue building. So let's take his last suit, and we'll go over here. He actually goes, since it's all filled up, he chooses one of these two spots, and between the two, he likes the one that gets him first player. So he's taking that one. He doesn't have to pay the water, and he's going to build a blue building. And between the two, he likes the one worth more points, I believe is his preference. I believe. Let me just triple check that. I'm pretty sure he goes for the ones with more points. Thanks for lurking, Omelet. Yeah, it helps. Yeah, that building does help me after the collapse. You're right. He's gonna build. Yeah, always with the higher VP value. So he's gonna grab this one. So we'll put that in his little collection. He can only have a maximum of 3 of each type of building. But ooh, golly. Okay, back to me. So now I feel like I can start using people on my own buildings to get stuff and do things. So the very first thing I want to do is put this scientist here and go back in time. Time travel time. So that lets me go up to 3 back. So I'm going to go back to this one and then remove this tile, pay 2 water to pay it back to myself in the past. And then over here on my player board, I get to go up 1 on the time travel track. And that's how time travel works. Not super exciting. I don't think that's the most interesting thing about this game at all. So, time travel complete. That was me, and the Chronossus is completely out of gas. So, you don't get to do anything. Shush, you're out of this. Great. Back to me. Because, or, question mark, you're using Chronossus, not Chronobot? Yeah, I'm using the Chronossus. Because Chronossus and Chronobot have some different rules. They do have some different rules, that's right, but it's very, very minor from what I've seen. And it's weird too, because when you're doing Chronossus stuff, most of the Chronossus's rules are in the Chronobot pages. So it's like, yeah, dummy, go look at the 9 pages before this. And yeah, I think the only thing is that the biggest change I think is that when the Chronossus can't do something, can't take an action and gets a point, it still wastes its suit, but the Chronobot just gets the point and gets to hang on to the suit, which sounds awful. So I think that's one of the if not the only major difference that you got to keep an eye on. Okay, so here's my situation. I got 1 exosuit left, 2 people. So one of these people is going to go in the exosuit. The other person is going to get me some of my much needed water and a point. So I think it depends on where the person in the suit's going to go, right? And where's the person in the suit going to go? Person in the suit is going to go. Where are my advantages? Up here, extra water for the scientist. And then breakthroughs. Only the scientist can do a breakthrough. Maybe I should get a breakthrough. Although I could, look at this. What am I talking about? I have looks like recruiting works the same, so he couldn't take a second genius. He would have to follow. Yeah, it does. But look at the page that has the write-up about that special. So that's just a generic recruiting action. But if you look at this page right here that describes this one, so it's page 6 if you've got this rule book right here. If not, I don't know, I can't help you, because it says, look, when using this action right here, perform a recruit action, see the previous page, the one you were talking about, only if a genius is available. And a genius was available. So it says follow those other rules if a genius was available, and it was. Even if the Chronobot, see, this is the key thing, even if the Chronobot already has a genius, which it did. So finally, I'm here. Yay, Frolic Dream arrived. Sorry, I had to take the cat to vet. No problem. Please prioritize the health of kitties over watching this nonsense. We're just trying to figure out so there's 2 robots going on. Turchi originally designed a robot to play this game solo with, and then there were some broken things about it, so with another expansion, the robot was reprogrammed, and that's called the Chronobot. And then with there's a big pile of expansion content that they never planned to have. The Chronobot existed before all the expansion content did, so they developed a second robot called the Chronossus that would be more flexible, and you could make it do things in all the different expansions, right? So with most of the stuff with the Chronossus, we're not using any expansion stuff, just 1 or 2 little minor things. So with most of this stuff, the Chronossus refers back to the Chronobot's rules, but there's this one weird thing that it just did, and I'm not too sure how to handle it. Yes, but I've been so excited to watch this. It's making me mentally really want to play. Oh, really, thought it said mentally. It didn't. Really, well, the mouse was in the way. Really want to play the game, maybe even buy it. Somebody pointed out to me on a competing social media platform that this isn't available to buy anymore at the moment. And I had to assure the person, don't worry, things come and go in and out of print, so I'm sure it'll be available eventually. You can buy the Fractures of Time expansion right now for $30 or something, but trash the dupe smarty pants. I don't know. Turch. Gasp. I know. Totally. I think one way that you can get it, though, I might be wrong, but I think that you can get it as a late pledge option on the Voidfall campaign. Maybe, I could be wrong. Go check it out if you desperately want it. And I do think it's a game to desperately want. I really do. Yeah, Voidfall Pledge Manager says Oberon. I think so. Okay, back to what craziness I was doing, because I think I'm in good stead here, because this means that I can... Okay, check this out. So, this guy's going to go here. We're going to pay the 1 green and the 1... No, he's not. Nonsense. Where did I want to go? Down here, yes. This guy's going to go down here. I'm going to pay the 1 green and the 1 water, the last water that I have, in order to get... What do you get me? 6 water and a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just realized I've shortchanged myself some water, so I'm going to fix that in just 1 moment. What there? And a point. Where I shortchanged myself was I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 suits out, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 empties, and I didn't collect the water from my empties. So I get 4 more water. I thought that it was getting suspiciously low. These are the hippie plant people. They're supposed to have water in abundance. Okay, and with all that water available, now I can take my genius, who can go on the spot that's reserved for an engineer, pay 3 water. Should I? Is that? Yeah, sure. Pay 3 water, and take 2 precious energy cores that I'll use to power up suits later. Love it. It's not points, but it's... Ryan's taking a break from beating me in Agricola. I don't know. It's funny. I've watched the scores in that Agricola game go up and down. It's like, yay, I'm leading, and then you eat a bunch of animals and food. It's like, oh no, I'm last place. So I don't want to say it's anyone's game right now. I think I'm doing very well, and I did very well in the last game that completely timed out, and I still haven't given that up because I feel like I so rarely win Agricola. So when I'm leading, Just to have that loss by default was pretty devastating. But back to this. All right. I have no more peoples left, so I couldn't even shout anybody awake because there's nobody to shout awake, which means I've wasted a suit. I've wasted a suit. Is that the best use of my time and energy? Let's say yes, it was poor planning on my part, but let's say okay. Okay, cool. So that's everything. So now we're going to clean up. So we retrieve all the workers. So do you come back awake? No, you're asleep, and you're asleep, and you're asleep. Doink, doink, doink. And this is why I want to paint these exosuits, is because they especially these two, they look very similar. They look, you know, one's got a big face in his bum, yeah, and his bum too, on his back, his belly is what I tried to say. So I'll take these 3 suits back. And then the one that I didn't use was just a total waste of 2 water, so it goes over here. And then over here, I take the Chronobot, so the Chronossus one's back. And that's everybody coming back. And then check for impact. Down here, have we reached impact yet? So, wow, it's kind of hard in solo mode to keep track of where you are. I guess not, because this is the flipped over one. This is actually supposed to be flipped over. That's one thing I forgot to do. So, not impact yet. Check for game end. No. Next era. So we're on era 4. If somebody wants to set a marker for era 4, that would be lovely. Okay. Okay. So let me just double check over here. Who comes back awake? You come back awake. Thank goodness gracious. You are asleep. You are asleep. So I just have like one guy to wake everybody up. That's tight. Oh no, you come back awake because you're a motivated administrator, and that's the whole reason I hired you. So I got 5 slots out of 6 filled in order to evacuate after the meteor hits. Fantastic. And look at this, it's every building and administrator I forgot gets me an extra 3 points. So I gotta start hiring administrators like crazy. Cool. So, preparation. So now we're gonna do the mine. 2 new cards. There's that, there's that. Okay, what comes out? It's chunk. 2 of these. 2 of these. And 1 of these. And then over here in hiring land, we've got 0 scientists, 2 engineers. 2 engineers, 1 administrator who I desperately need, and a genius. Where'd it go? Genius. There we go. Here goes my tummy because apparently I'm hungry. I didn't prep a snack for this stream. That might have been a bad plan. Chronossus is still the first player. What else happens? The buildings come out. So let's take a look at the new buildings. So one of these, and 1 of these, and 1 of these, and 1 of these. That's a spot to absorb a paradox. This is put a free path marker on there to get 2 points and accrue a paradox, which if you're playing the path of salvation would actually help, believe it or not. This, you just place a guy and take 7 water. Really, that's darn powerful. If you're playing the path of dominance, that's really helpful to you. This I already have. This one, you put an engineer down and pay a titanium to get an energy core. I feel I have a better building that does that. And then here we see that gets you gold. Up here, put a scientist down and pay a neutronium to go back in time up to 3 and get 2 points. Heh, I don't know. I'm just a caveman. Here we go. So that's all the preparation steps. What's happening over here? I think it was partly Ryan's vids that first really sold me on Anachrony and Tricarian and Feast. Feast run such a good game. He has a lot to answer for. You guys are ones to talk, man. Again, like I plugged the Discord server, but you guys have me like craving games. And like, oh, sorry, Ryan, they're not available in stores. So, I mean, you dish it out as well as taking it, I think. This is a gorgeous game. It sure is. It's so wild, right? One of the things that I think I said I liked about it in one video I did was that, all right, you go to your artist and it's like, okay, it's time to draw the future. Like, what does that look like? And I love that this game almost doesn't look like any other sci-fi thing I've seen. There are shades of, like it's got some floating cities and cloud cities kind of thing that reminds me a bit of Bespin in Star Wars. And it has kind of like a floating head Zardoz vibe to it. That's the closest thing I could think of, you know what I mean? Like scorched earth landscape, floating head kind of stuff. But I found it pretty cool looking and pretty unique. I think the people were saying the underground path, the Path of Salvation, looks a bit like Daleks from Doctor Who. But otherwise, it looks terrifying and intimidating the first time you get the board out on the table. You're like, what is any of this nonsense? Power cores. Why are we screaming power cores? What did I miss? I try and make an effort to only talk about games that are unavailable. Yeah, without Sean Connery in a posing pouch. Is that what that's called? Sean Connery, if you haven't seen Zardoz. Sean Connery spends a section of the movie in a red mankini. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And that was when it was like all right for male actors to have chest hair. Everybody didn't have to like wax all the time. So he was just brave. He was hirsute, I guess we'd call him. He was just like a wolf man in a red mankini. Pretty cool. Yes, mankini, Frau Kajim. That you heard me, mankini. I said what I said. All right, so to the paradox phase down here. So this is where we go era by era, and if you've been naughty and messing up time, then you accrue paradoxes. So he's gonna roll for he's got to roll twice, and I have to roll nunts because I'm not the majority, warp tile guy on any of these. So this is Chronossus roll number 1 for paradoxes. He gets 1, and then roll number 2 goes right off the table, and I don't even know where that die ended up. It's on the floor. I will use my prehensile foot to grab. There we go. 1 and 1. So he gets 2 paradox tokens. That's a good thing. It's for me anyway, not for him. 1 and 2. So he's 1 more down to getting another one of these anomalies. Great. Okay, that's cool. So then we power up. Now this is where my planning has not served me very well. Okay, so you got to look at your board and figure out, like, what am I going to do this turn? What am I going to do? I need to build 1 more building, and yeah, I have to pay attention to how many actual people that I have and how much water I have to wake them up. I do have that like halvesies on water. So okay, I'm at least going to do that guy because I need to build my 5th building. I need to hire an administrator. There's only 1 administrator to hire. And there's 1 genius, which would be nice, but I have a feeling that Chronossus is going to get that genius. So I might as well use the first 3 free spaces. And then let's reserve this water. I'm going to need 3 water to wake people up. So I can pay 2 water to put another guy down. Oh, it's 3 water. Oh, I owe a water from last time then. I only paid 2. It's all good. I had it. It was fine. So that's gone. So I'm going to pay 3 water in order to put one of these guys down. And I could pay an energy core to put another one down, which I think 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I do want to go back in time and pay this back to myself. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. But I'm going to be hiring somebody. So that's the extent of what I need to do. So I get 2 water for each of those. So 4 water back. Oh yeah, I mean, what movie isn't made better by a floating stone head that vomits firearms? I've been told in my younger years and before I grew a beard, I look exactly like the floating head from Zardoz. Not the stone one, the freaky one, the big mouth. Although, no, I look like when the head in Zardoz has like the headdress thing on. If you've never seen this movie, you're like, what is happening? I look like that guy, the little goatee guy. That's who I look like, I think, anyway. When I was younger, anyway. It's one of this. That's why I'm here. I thought the floating head from Zardoz is doing board game videos. Oh my god, sign me up. Subscribe, follow, like, great. So I've powered up, and the bad guy is going to power up now, so we're going to pull 3 tokens from the bag. It's pre-explosion, pre-doomsday, so we're going to pull out 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3. Good. Okay, so that means that he gets 3 plus 2, so 5 suits, and this deader goes back in the bag. 5 suits. and the 2 charged ones have go. So I'm gonna put over here in bad guy land 1, 2, 3. That's gonna be ouch. That's gonna be lots of ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's gonna get so many points this round. It's not gonna be funny. Okay, here we go. Hope I'm doing this right, because it would appear that this bad robot is making a horrible amount of points. Like, just scads, I would say the word is scads. Because look, not only does he have these like freeform points over here, but he's got 3, 5, 7, 10, minus 2 is 8. But 8 plus, what is this, 6? Whoa, look, he's got 14 points just sitting out there. Do I have 14 points just sitting? Let's do a little tally up here. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. Oh, you know what? That's not too bad. That's not the worst thing in the world. 10 point, okay. Okay, I thought he was smoking me. It's not that bad. Okay, this is still anybody's game. Okay, it's fine. It's good. Okay, so it's warp time. Warp time. What do I need? What do I need this round? What do I have access to this round? I could ask myself for, again, now this is like, you decide, do you want to take something from yourself in the future that you need, or something that you already have or are likely to get, so that this, man, right away. This, because then after the nice thing about the stuff that you need for the evacuation is that after the evacuation happens, you can just go back in time and like pay it back. So like this all day, every day, definitely. And let's take a look at the numbers down here on these tiles and see like what the situation is. So if he rolls a blank, that's bad. I kind of want to put 2 down. If he puts 2 down, yeah, I want to put 2. So, okay. I want to put 2 down because if he puts 1 down, I get this and this benefit. If he puts 2 down, I get this and this, fine. If he rolls a blank, that's the only point where it's kind of bummer, but 2 is definitely what I want to go for. So it's definitely going to be this one, and what else can I do here? I could kind of use another engineer, really. I think. Maybe not. I'm just looking. I've got to build something, so let me just look at my board. I have to build something in this round. What can I build? I can build like nothing. I don't have anything. So that kind of narrows it down for me, doesn't it? The cheapest thing for me to build would be over here, a green thing and a green thing and a titanium, and then that would be me building one of these 2 guys. I'm not too interested in any of those 2 guys. Although, yeah, maybe this one. How many points are you worth? You're worth 3 points. Yeah, 3 points is 3 points. Could you build tension, Oberon asks? Okay, let me look at the other thing. This is one thing that I forgot to do. Is flip the super project. I'm not a really super project focused guy because they seem just so expensive and so difficult to get, but I should really focus more on them. So that's what's coming up. I'll move it over so you can see it. That's what's coming up in the next era. This is what's going on now. I don't know, they're too expensive. They're too expensive. It doesn't match anything that I have. Although, oh wait, I forgot about this. Right, this is why I was interested in the continuum stabilizer, because I have the breakthrough that I can pay for this. So if I just come up with 2 gold and 1 titanium and use an engineer, and I travel back in time, well, that's a lot of ifs. Yeah, man, that's what I gotta do this round. That's what I gotta do. So I might as well get one of those things for myself. So it's gonna be 1 gold for sure. Okay, good. Figured it out. Great. Okay, so the bad guy goes first, deciding how many warp tokens to put on here. Hopefully it's not a blank. It's not a blank. Fantastic. Great. So 1 warp token for the Chronossus goes down. I've got these flipped to the wrong side. These are supposed to be Chronossus tokens, not Chronobot tokens. Let's stay on brand here, robots. 2 of them. There we go. And this one is 2. That looks better. I don't know, doesn't really matter. And then here, I'll go here and here. So that means that not only do I get a gold and an administrator who is awake, but I have to pay 1 water for that administrator because time travel makes everybody very thirsty. So there's the administrator who I desperately need for points, and there's my gold that I desperately need to build that super project. All right, this is all coming together. Not only that, but the space down here, if I move this, lets me remove a paradox token from my board. Great. Look over here, paradox token, gonzo. Lovely. I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. That was the warp phase. All right. It's advisable, says Fractal Can Dream, or not advisable, to do the robot dance command. I may have missed it last time, as I had to step away at the end last time because my partner surprised me with lasagna. About the robot dance command. I'm not saying that just because I priced something at 500 cheddar that it's worth 500 cheddar. It works just the way anything that's priced anything does. You have to determine the value of that yourself, and really, what is cheddar worth to me? Remember, if you want to check how much cheddar you've earned by watching these live streams, hit !score, and that'll let you know. And then you can balance your family's cheddar finances and kind of figure out, should I save my cheddar up for something later? There you go. I'll let you search your heart. I think you have beaucoup de cheddar, so I don't think you're hurting for it. Okay, cool. All right, so bad guy, it's Chronobot time. Chronossus time, my mistake. You're gonna go, it's a 2. So number 2 follows the red arrow, and we do this, which is do nothing. Hooray! It's the 1 gimme space. Let's go. Uh-oh, here goes Dance Robot Dance. Okay. The robot's trying to do the running man, but Chronossus has both legs glued to the base and can't. Okay, great. Little twirl. All right, there. The robot did the hustle for you, and I hope you appreciated that. I hope that was. Hope that was worth the 500 cheddar, he said with a guilty look on his face. Oh my god, there's music. Worth. Cheddar well spent, says Oberon. I tend to agree, but I don't know. Are you as flagrantly irresponsible with fake money as I am? Back to it, I get to place a dude. Over here, I have 2 administrators. I need to save them to wake the people up. Again, I love that action of this dude, because I think I should do that again now, like right now. So I'll put the marker there. I will pay the 3 water because it's 5.5 rounded up. So pay the 3 water in order to wake everybody up nicey styles. Come on, everybody. It's time to get up and greet the apocalypse. All right. So that gives me like options. Opciones for this round. Great. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. What did I say I needed to do? Oh, I'm not even on the right camera angle. What I did was I administrated and I paid 3 water because I have to pay. Shoot, where was I? Was I here? Oh. No, I think it was there and I moved up here. I just paid 3 water. It's actually only 2 water. I get a water back. Great. So 4 water. In order to wake everybody up, he's going to stay motivated at the end of the round. Everything looks good. Now, the big plan was to get that super project. And in order to get the super project, I have to get 1 gold and 1 titanium. So in order to get 1 gold and 1 titanium, I have to put an engineer in a suit on the mining space. So here we go, on the mining space, on the middle one, so that I can take the gold and take the titanium. And now I have all the resources I need in order to build that super project. Looking pretty cool. Looking pretty cool. Okay, good. Chronossus. Here we go. Roll the Chronossus. Running out of space to roll. The 3 goes over here, and we do this. So you just go up and just get a point. That's all that happens. Great. Back to me. Back to me. So I think what I can do now is I can take this scientist and put it here, and it's go back in time. Go back in time. Oh, I have inefficiently planned it though, because if I go back in time and pay this off, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Haha, sweet. I'm going to go back in time, and not pay that off? Because this will when I build this, it'll let me get rid of 3 warp tokens. It'll let me get rid of all 3 of those warp tokens. Okay. Great. Grand. Back to Chronossus. Did you roll for Paradox yet? Yes. Yes, definitely. Yep, I did. Yeah, because the Chronossus got 2 paradoxes right here, and I got none. I don't think you or the bot did. I did. We did. Yeah, we're good. I think so. Thank you for the reminder, but I think we did it because we did. I think. You're making me doubt myself. Why? Why would you do this? Okay. The 4 follows the blue track and he's going to build, and he wants to build a gray building. So we're going to take one of his 5 flippin' suits, put it here, go over to the buildings. He wants to build one of these 2, and he wants to build the one worth more points, which is going to be, they're both worth the same points. So he builds the one down here. And over to his board. Shazam. Okay, great. Now my turn. I must say, the robot with this game is a lot more elegant than the one that was designed for Tricarian. If you saw the Tricarian stream, man, I was like, every single move, I was just like, oh, there's a gigantic case statement. I have if, then, that, else, not, or... kind of like wigged out just thinking about it. Now, it is time. He took that spot, you know, nerd. So I'm going to put a engineer in a suit and pay a water in order to build. And the thing I'm going to build is going to be a super project. And the super project I'm going to build is the one where my path marker is focused. So it's going to cost me that exact token over there, that breakthrough. And I get a discount of 1 titanium. So I have to pay 1 titanium and 2 gold in order to build it. 1 titanium and 2 gold. Chuck it. Come to Papa, 6 big points plus remove 3 warp tokens from the timeline. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And then over here, it takes up 2 spots, and I think I'm least excited about these buildings down here, so I'm going to let it cover up that. So that means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I covered up 7 out of the 6 spots that I needed to cover up, so I can evacuate after the meteor hits next era. But what I really want to do is start maxing this out. I really want to get as many administrators as I possibly can, because each pair of administrator and building gets me 3 points. Right now I've got 2 administrators and 2 buildings. If I can get 1 more administrator, that'll be 9 points. You know how it works. Anyway, board games. Great. So, to the bad guy. Bad guy rolls. And it's a 3. It's a 3, so we move this 3 over here and we do this. Now, this is another interesting thing about this robot opponent, is that these 3 spots are variable, and you put different tiles down kind of depending on what's going on with your game. So these were the ones that were recommended just like for your first play, and this is my first play, so I put these down. But I thought that was a pretty neat idea. So this just gets the robot straight up 2 points. Okay, fine. 2 points. So I'm going to trade some of these points in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to keep it nice and tidy. Back to me. Back to me, and I just talked through the important thing that I have to do, which is to grab a suit and hire an administrator. And an administrator. So over here, hire now. The one thing I need to know, though, in order to make a decision, for the purposes of evacuation, do geniuses count as administrators? I think they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm just going to double check because it matters. Right now, it really super matters. So big, thick rule book. I know exactly where to look. It's at the end. Path of Harmony. Path of Harmony. I thought I knew exactly where to look. Right, here we go. That's not it. Here. Your evacuation is worth 3 additional VPs for each building and administrator pair you have when you evacuate. Tired and busy administrators also count. I think geniuses don't count. I think they got to be administrators. So what that means is that I can just send an administrator with my suit to the board. Correct me if you think I'm wrong on that, but I don't think I can pull that off with geniuses. I think it has to be specifically administrators. That was a fun stream too, says Fractal Dream. The Tricarian one? Whew, this is stressful stream. Okay. Has to be there. Rule state it must go in the leftmost slot, in the emptiest row. So, oh yeah, it does. You're right. Yeah, it's a very good point. Thanks for pointing that out. Back to this super project. This is the only place it can go, because it can't go here or here. It's going to be hanging off the edge, and it can't go here because it's got to go in the leftmost area, which is like there's a more left area down here. So that's like the only spot that you're allowed to put it. Thanks for pointing that out. Geniuses don't count, if I recall, says Omelet. Yeah, I don't think so either. You've played this path before, right? I think this is my first time playing the Path of Harmony. So great, everybody hogs the Path of Harmony, the dirty hippie faction. You're going to go here. You're going to recruit one of these guys, and you're going to get a point for doing it. All right, and you're awake when you come to my faction place. It's neat too. All the different factions live in different places. The Path of Dominance is on a big, like, gigantic, like, aircraft carrier. They're like the ocean theme thing, right? These dirty hippies live out in the woods, and you can kind of see their where they like to live, sort of in the background there. So they live in, oh, that's what you were talking about, Rivendell. Is that why? Because you thought over on that looked like Rivendell up there in the top left? Like trees and elvy things. And then the Path of I Forget, the big winged lion things, they live in a cloud city. And then the Path of Salvation, the weird cultists, they live underground, and their exosuits look like mole people with big digger arms. Kind of cool. Exactly, I knew you'd get there. Yeah, that took me a while. Woo! Genius can be placed as a worker, but not count as that type of worker for other effects. Thank you very much for the clarification, Omelet. All right, to Elbado. Did I do my thing? I don't remember. I just built a super project, right? That's the thing I got to do. Right, to the bad guy. Or did the bad guy just do something? I've just been distracted. What just happened? We just did this and got the bad guy 2 points, and I cashed in those points, right? That's the last thing that we did, and so now it's my turn? Oh, let me know. No, because I just hired an administrator. That's what I did. Now it's the bad guy. Great, thank you. I remembered. Bad guy rolls. Bad guy rolled a 3, so the bad guy wants to go to the mining action. Oh, sorry, do the construct action and build a super project. Oh, awful. Okay, so we grab a suit and we go to the build action. We can't go there, so he's going to go up here and take the first player spot. Okay, that's step 1. And then he wants to build a super project. So in order to do that, let's go see what's available to him. Let me just double check his conditions for building a super project. I did this once in the first half. So he does have a breakthrough to discard. The Chronobot first discards a breakthrough, any shape or icon. Then it takes the highest VP face-up super project for any era. Oldest if tied. Okay. Highest value would be this one. So he takes the Welfare Society. Yikes, shnikes. Over here. And it goes here. That's the second of 3 super projects. And he gets rid of this thing. Whew, sweaty. All right, my turn. I've got 1 suit left. Uno suito. And I'm gonna go. Right, what did I have to do? There's no more administrators for me to hire. Sad day. Sad day. I did get away with 1 neutronium that I really shouldn't have. Let's go and see. There's actions that I can take on my board for sure. 1 suit. What am I going to do that with 1 suit? Feels like I should. Let's see. What can I get here? Feels like I should do this, right? I should go and get water, because if I go and get water, no, sorry, not water. I should get uranium. Because if I get uranium, I can place a guy and pay the uranium. There's a uranium and a water. Yeah, it definitely feels like I should get uranium, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that, I don't think. Get uranium. Yes. Yes. Okay, so that solves it. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an engineer, but I do have a genius to put in there to go mining. So if I put the genius in there and go over to here, I'm not going to regret that, am I? No. Genius goes here. I always regret things. And I'm going to take a uranium, and I'm going to take probably, you know what, a second uranium, since I have 2 buildings that require uranium to do stuff with. So there's double uranium. Now back over to the Chronobot. Rolling the die, it's a 2, and 2 goes along the red path, so he's going to go higher, but he can't hire. Oh, he doesn't get the reward for hiring, he just gets 1 point. So let's get him as 1 point first off. There's 1 point for you, Chronobot. We're going to take this and we're going to go to hiring land. You don't have to pay the water, that's fine, but you're going to hire somebody you can't have. So he wants an engineer next because that's his priority. He gets the geniuses, then he gets the administrator. We didn't figure out that stacked genius thing, did we yet? I don't know. I don't think we did. But anyway, that's what he does. He gets a point and one of those guys. Now, back to me. I'm all out of suits. I'm all out of suits. I'm so lost without them. I think that I'm going to use some of my building stuff. So, I believe that if I use my genius here and pay that uranium I just got, I get a point and 6 water. 1 point and 6 water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All good. Step 1, Chronossus, rolling 4. 4 follows the blue arrow down here, and it does nothing. Haha, take that, Chronossus. Thought you could match wits with me. Probably can. We'll see before it's all over. So now I can renege. I didn't want to spend my genius there because I got to spend my genius up there. Well, no, what do I want to do? Yeah, let's pretend that I did not spend my genius there. Let's pretend that I spent this guy there. That's still fine, you can still go there. My genius is going to go up here so that I can spend the 3 water and get 3 cores. 2 cores, my mistake. 3 water for 2 cores. So now I'm rocking 5 cores up here. That's very nice. And then back to the Chronossus we roll. Look how smooth this is going. I love it. 3 goes all the way back to the end, and we do this thing where we try to get rid of an anomaly. But he's got no resources to get rid of an anomaly, so since he can't do the thing, he just gets 1 point. And he's stuck with that anomaly. Hurdy har har, which is only worth -2 to him, but yeah, it's good, I'll take it. Over here, now I'm going to use this guy and go here and pay my uranium and water, trusting that the game has figured out that these are good ratios for me to be blowing stuff on. Uranium and water to get a neutronium and 1 point. Yes. 1 point, neutronium. That's all my guys. Back to the Chronossus, who has 2 suits left. 2 suits of raisins. Here we go. 3 goes over here. So he wants to build a blue thing. So we'll take a suit and we'll put him on the last remaining action capital space over here. And he wants to build a blue building. So it's going to be one of these 2. That's worth 1 point. That's worth 2. That's the one he wants. So it goes over here, and he's now maxed out on blue buildings. That's all he can do. I still have no ability to do anything. So it's back to Chronossus. He's got 1 suit left, and he rolls a 3 again. So we go over here and we do this, which puts him up in time travel land, and then he still gets to go because he's still got a suit. 4, Bajouche. He wants to go to the mines, so we take a suit and we put his suit in the mines. This is the only place that he can go, and that's okay because he wants stuff. So neutronium, if he can get it, he can't. The next highest priority is titanium and gold. I believe that's how it works. I believe. So now he's got gold and titanium, and now he's out of suits, and that is it for that era. We're done. Look, we got through 4 of them. That's pretty cool. Look down here. So now the exciting stuff happens. So first we retrieve the workers, and I got to be very careful because some of these are coming home to me awake and alive. So this one is asleep. You are asleep. You are awake because you just love mining. You are also awake because you're a genius, and you also love mining. Geniuses love mining. That's what we've learned here today. Great, so that's that. I'll put all the suits, put all the suits back on the Chronossus area. Suit, boogie. Again, if these were painted, it'd make it a lot easier to grab your stuff. All my suits come back. I did before, and I managed to use them all this round. Very nice. Okay, that's the first thing. No, but I've got tons of workers over here, and some of them are coming back awake. So you are not. You're asleep. You are coming back asleep as well. Genius asleep, unfortunately. The administrator, that's all I really need, comes back motivated, and so does this administrator, motivated. So 4 guys to goof off with, enough water to wake people up. I'm happy about that. I'm good. Okay, great. So now, everybody come now. Check for impact. Does impact happen? Yes! I don't have a sound effect for that, but just, do one in your head. I'll trash the workers in the hiring area in a sec. Let's go. So this is the thing that makes time travel possible, the meteor crash. So when the meteor crash happens, a bunch of things happen. The very first thing that happens is the entire capital catches on fire. Oh my God, no, everybody's running around screaming. So this is a great opportunity for your path because you want those people to come to where you live. So as the dirty hippies, I want them to come and live in the forest with me to bolster my population so that I'll have more people believing in the path of dirty hippies, right? So that's what evacuation is all about. And that's why you have to meet these requirements down on your board if you want to evacuate people and earn more points. I said it before, I'll say it again. Some people get confused about this game and they think that, I can't evacuate there, therefore I'm going to lose the game. Like it's like Forbidden Island or Forbidden Desert or something. If you don't save people, they all die and that's it. No, that's it. You have people over in Rivendell. There's already people who are part of the path of harmony. And what you're doing is the capital city represents another place where there's a bunch of people. So everyone's competing to, carve off those people to come in and bolster their populations, if that makes any sense. So that's what happens. Another thing that happens is stuff starts getting wrecked. So like the meteor kind of crashes and fragments pop off and it blows up 2 of the spots where I can place powered up suits. So that knocks those out. And then it does the same thing to some of these spots on the main board. So the way you set that up is there are 3 actions on the main board: research, recruit, and build, construct. So these are the build ones, these are the research ones, and these are the recruit ones. So you just kind of, I think I shuffled that incorrectly. No, we're good. So you just kind of like pick 2. So we're going to go with this one, and we'll do this one. That stack is done. Over here, we'll do the top one, and we'll do this one. So that stack is done. And over here, we'll do this one and the one on the bottom. Now, these spaces aren't unavailable yet, but they will be, right? Because these become really unstable. So we flip them first, and they have perks and benefits on them. Perks and benefits. And then if you use that spot, that's the perk or benefit that you get. This goes this way, but as soon as you leave it, it collapses. And if the round ends with all of these tiles collapsed, well then forget about it. The whole capital is collapsed and the game ends early. That's why you might not go, you might not go all 7 rounds. Like if all those spaces collapse because so many suits get placed in this era, that's it, game over. Right? So it's a little bit of it could be a really short game. We don't know. It's hard to plan around. More screams required for immersion. Okay, we'll spend the next 5 minutes simulating the screams of the tormented people in the capital city. All right, here we go. So now we can pop up to the top of the handy-dandy round list, which I ride pretty hard, even though I've played this game a bunch of times. Preparation. So the first thing we do is we're going to do the mine and the... Oh, I had that upside down last time. Well, hopefully it didn't matter too much. Yeah, whole game's tainted. Right, so now after impact, you don't follow this to the letter. You always put a neutronium in the first spot, and then you follow the card. So then it's a uranium, and then it's 3 titanium. Blazam, blazam. And then one of each always goes in the right-hand side. And this is pretty tranquil music for the end of the world playlist. Gosh. Okay, this is the playlist I put together for Terraforming Mars, so it's supposed to be ethereal and floaty and spacey, not like meteor. Back to it. Hiring people. So we've got 1 scientist off the top, and then 1 engineer, and then 2 administrators and 0 geniuses. 2 administrators, that's good for old Rai Rai. Remember, I want to collect those. And then we go down here and we flip the next super project over, because you can always see 1 into the future. You can't go into the future and get it, but you can, plan for what's coming up. Da-da. And then we go over here to the buildings. I'm going to flip over each one and take a close look at what they offer. Really down on the blues. Ooh, lots of blues being taken this game. Okay, so here's what they do. This one says you put a scientist down, you pay a water to go back up to 3 spaces twice. That doesn't mean that you can go back once up to 6 spaces. It means you get to take 2 separate time travel trips and clear up stuff on the timeline. I have nothing left on the timeline, so I'm not too worried about that. Although I don't get the points for going back in time, do I, for clearing stuff up? This one, you put an engineer down and 2 of any non-neutronium resource to get energy cores. I think I'm pretty good on energy cores at the moment. Here you put an administrator down to get 5 water, and here pay 2 of anything that's non-neutronium to get 2 points, which is quite attractive, and I do have 1 spot left for one of those buildings. The music choice works for me, says Fragile Contrarians. Good. I'm glad. Feels like a dark crystal kind of thing, like we're with the mystics. That was preparation. And now it's paradox time, so this is going to be entertaining. So that means we go tile by tile, and whoever has the most warp tiles on each era has to roll the paradox die. Let's see. Hey, Chronossus, how many times do you have to roll? Is it 3? I think it is. Okay, so, but you already have 2. This is going to be kind of a bummer because Chronossus already has 2 paradoxes. So as soon as Chronossus rolls a paradox, he gets an anomaly and then doesn't have to roll for any of the other ones. So, So there's 1 and that's it. So that's really all that happens. So over here, boom, 3 paradoxes, which all collapse down into an anomaly. And between the 2 that are available, it's the one that docks the least amount of points and has like a removed tile thing on it. So we'll put that there on the Chronossus's corner, and the Chronossus gets to remove a tile and always goes for the hindmost tile. So that one gets kicked off. All right, cool. That was the paradox phase. Now it's the power-up phase, in which, much like Tricarian, you kind of got to decide where you're going to place all your suits. One thing that also happens is, I don't know, I didn't actually check the rules super clearly to see if it happens in a 2-player game, but you put, just after your player count, you put this token here. So that means, like, okay, let's say if it was a 4-player game, this person evacuates, this person evacuates, this person evacuates. This person can still evacuate but gets docked points. So if you're a latecomer to the evacuation game, and you're just like kind of dragging half-limp bodies out of the capital, yeah, maybe that's not so glorious. So I believe in a 1-player game, we'll put this here. And if he gets there first, I don't think he can evacuate. I don't think the Chronossus will ever go there. So I think I'm okay. Again, correct me if I'm wrong if you know the solo mode a little bit better than I do. Powering up, what do I want to do this phase? Well, check this out. There are 2 administrators available. And if I got that, that's like 6 points to me if I was able to hire them both. I have prepared for this moment. So definitely I want to hire an administrator, and I want to hire... Oh, man, yeah, 3 spots are blocked. That's the special thing about this path. That's no good. Look at this. 3 spots are blocked. So we can only ever put 3 suits down. Well, I'm going to go all 3, and I'll pay the energies, because I've stocked up on energy cores. Not like other games where I just like charge into the future post-impact with no energy to charge up my suits. No batteries left over, goof. Okay. So, well, that was pretty easy. That was an easy decision. And then post-impact, I believe the bad guy does 2 suits plus. Let me just check. Yep, 2 plus X. So we take the bag and we draw 3 energy cores from it. I'm not looking. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 3. Okay, just want to make sure I'm not cheating. Okay, yes, 2 debtors and 1. So it's 2 plus 1 is 3. And the 1 goes here, the debtor goes away, and the last debtor goes in here. 2 plus 1, so 3 suits for the bad guy. The bad guy has been first player this entire time. Set up as if playing 2 players. Yes, Oberon, correct. But I believe there's something in the rule book, I think anyway, and this is kind of important, that says bad guy doesn't ever evacuate. I'm pretty sure. Because I don't even think there's anything on the bad guy's board that would put him on the evacuation space. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, okay. All right, so here we are. And possibly the last round of the game. I don't think so. It's not toxic for him, so why would he leave? Yeah, great point. He's a robot. He doesn't care if there's neutronium everywhere making people sick and dead. He's a robot. Great point. Okay. So I took the 3 suits. Right, so warp tiles. Definitely having an extra suit would be a really nice thing this time, wouldn't it? Let's take a close look at what's going on down here. He gets to place first. It's incumbent upon me to pick 2 because reasons. So if he picks 0, I get a point. Okay, let's say I just pick 1. If he picks 0, I get a point. If he picks 2, I get nothing. And if he picks 1, yeah, I gotta pick 2. That's the smartest play. So the 2 that I'm gonna pick are definitely, I'm gonna get another suit. Oh, but I'm gonna have to pay that back to myself. That's fine. I just want to get to impact, man. Or not impact, evacuation. And then I think I'll put the neutronium. Neutronium? No. No, of course I'm gonna pick that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, definitely. Well, will I need the suit though? Yeah, it is possible that I could build another building, right? So, okay, that's good. Okay, so he's going to roll to see how many he puts on. He's going to put on 1. Which is great. So now I get to put on this guy and this guy. So I get a point for putting it on that first spot. Yoink, doink, doink, in the big pile of points. And I have to pay a water in order to get an administrator who's awake and a powered up exosuit. So there's my administrator. And my powered up exosuit just goes on one of these spots. All good. Okay. Yes. I feel like I'm very much more in control of this game than I was with Dracarian. Dracarian felt like I was just trying to swim up to the surface constantly. This, I feel like not like I'm dominating the game or anything, but there's tension. There's more tension in Dracarian. You notice I was leading the bad guy by 80 points for most of the game. So this I feel that it feels like, I don't know. It feels better for sure. It feels better. Okay, cool. Maybe it's the music. So, he's got 3 suits. He's going to start rolling. Here we go. It's a 3. So, he's going to get 2 points. 1, 2. And he's got 3 here. So, I'm going to cash those in for a fiber. No problem. Great. To me, higher admins is the big thing. Higher admins. And I believe this means don't get a bonus. These are both bad things. I don't like them. That's what that means, right? Don't get a bonus? Here, let me double check that. It means... Oh, it means I get an extra recruit bonus. Oh, whew, glad I checked that. Okay, so I'll put an admin in a suit on here. Oh, so this must mean put the morale up, not down, because it'd be a red arrow if it was the other way. Okay, so I will get this admin, which gets me a point, and I get another bonus, which is 2 points. I believe that's how it works. 2 points of the admin back to the Chronossus. We're rolling. 3. Again with the 3s. So he wants to build a super project, but he doesn't have anything down here, so I believe that means he gets a point. And triple check that. He wants to build. Yep. 1 VP for a failed action. And then over to moi. I want to go get that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 admins, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. So I could cash it all in right now, but I think it's possible for me. To get another building and another admin. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do this just before I evacuate, because I think that'll be worth the extra points. I think. So I'm going to put the guy in the suit over here on the main board. So instantly I get improved morale. So down here the morale goes up. Though it doesn't allow me to wake anybody up. It would have one of these 2 icons on it if actually people got to wake up. So improved morale, I'm happy with, that's points. And then over here, I'm going to recruit this administrator, which gets me another point. And he goes a wake time column. Back to the Chronossus, who has 3 suits left. He's rolled a 4. So the 4 follows the blue arrow. He wants to build? What was the last thing the Chronossus did? Did I place a suit for him? No, I did not. I did not place a suit for him. That's what I forgot to do. Except I don't know which spot he takes. Does he take the top one? Does he take the bottom one? Does it matter? I don't know. I'm just a caveman. Let's triple check here. Power phase, warfare, actions phase. Let's see. I don't know. Passing the backtrack. I'm just gonna say he goes to the top one. I believe he goes to the top one. I don't know why. I feel like I've read that. Let me just double check. Actions. Topmost available space on the capital actions. I did read that correctly. So he's going to go right here. He ignores what's on the tile. That was his last suit. And the one that we're dealing with now is we just moved up from 4. So he wants to build again. Bad news for Rai, and he wants to build a red one. So he goes here, and we look at the buildings. This is the red one. That's worth 3 points. This worth 2. So he takes this one, and he puts it on the floor. He puts it on his red stack. Red stack. Great. Now, back to moi. Here's my situation. Talking about my situation. Oh, wouldn't it be great if I took first player from him? Oh, he'd hate that. He would hate that. But I do have to hang on to some water to wake people up. Maybe again I should do the freebie wake up. I think I should. So I'm going to, the path marker's over there. I'm going to do that in order to freebie wake everybody up. Freebie, like not using a main action on it, it's free to do it. And that causes me to pay 3 water because it costs 5, and you round up because I got the halvesies water thing. So that goes up there. Everybody's going to come on over to Wakey Time Land, giving me ultimate flexibility and freedom. Now I'm going to take a suit and I'm going to put it on the hiring board. Yeah. I only have 1 water left. I'm wondering if I should do my cash-in thing for water first. How do I get water? Well, I can't because I need a uranium tile to get water. And I need a uranium tile to do that too. I don't have to go back in time to pay anything back to myself this time. But I need to build. But I don't have any resources to build. So clearly what I have to do is go mining. So I gotta grab one of these guys and throw him in there. So we gotta go mining and then building. Those are the two actions that I gotta do. So, and will I have enough resources to build something? So I need 1 neutronium, which I already have. Let's just go with something I already have. So neutronium doesn't matter. So I need 1 titanium and 1 gold. 1 titanium, 1 gold. I can do that. Great. Okay, let's go here. This is all coming together. 1 titanium and 1 gold. Shoompa shoompa. Yes. Yes. On top of things. Over to Chronossus. He's got 1 suit left. He's rolling. He's shooting a 4 over. The 4 follows the blue arrow. And he wants to hire a genius again, which we don't know how that goes. But he can't hire a genius. So instead of hiring a genius, he wants to research. Okay, we'll take him and we'll put him on research. He takes the top one. We roll the shape die. It's a triangle. So we give him a triangle breakthrough down on the bottom left spot on his board. Cool. Back to me so that I don't forget what I'm doing. I am going to build using an engineer. Wow, man, there's only like 1 spot left that would end the game. Oh, what are the odds? Hold on now, hold on. Because if Chronossus, oh no, Chronossus has no suits left. Woo, that was a real close one. Because I thought, man, if Chronossus does that, he ends the game. I don't get to evacuate, which would be all the points that I've kind of been building towards. No, we're all good. He doesn't have any suits left. Thank goodness gracious. I'm going to go just for... Oh, I don't have the water to do it. I'm going to go here and pay 1 water. Pay 1 water in order to build. And the thing I'm going to build is going to cost me 1 neutronium, 1 because I get a discount, titanium, and 1 gold. All that stuff goes into the old bucket, and I'm gonna build, what did I say? It's gonna be a power plant, and I think this is better because this is better for the end game condition. So, because I think that's 3, 6, 9 that would add up to, and remember these cards are down here, so at 9 that would give me 2 points. So that's definitely the one I want to build, is this one. So over here in Ryanland. Ooh, and 2 water. I can't do it. Oh no. I don't have enough water. Oh no. Oh no, now what? Oh no. I don't have enough water. I forgot about the water cost entirely. Oh, you silly nerd. What do I do? What do I do? Look at the board with me. Is there something I was missing that I could get water for? Okay. Hold on. So I'm going to take my water back for putting that engineer up there. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Whoa. Undo, undo, undo. Yeah, because I can like go get the water or go get the uranium to get water and a point, which would be great, but then, yeah, that's what I should do. That's what I should do. So I'll use this engineer to go here, to go to the mine in order to get uranium and probably uranium, really. 2 uraniums. And then back here on Ryan's board land, I'm going to put, I don't know, who cares, Genius on here to ditch a uranium and get 6 water and a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six water and a point. Look, I've got some points piling up. You can't see them off the screen here, but I'm going to cash in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 12 in freestanding point chits. Let me see, 2 5s. Okay. So I did that, and I got the precious water that I need that I can't spend because I don't have the suit to do it. It's fine. That's fine. It's fine. This is fine. This is fine. My whole plan will have to wait till next round, but that's okay because the capital hasn't completely collapsed yet, but it probably will next round. So that is that the end? Hold on, let me just see if I can do anything else. It's not the end because I can put an engineer there and get 2 more cores. I don't think that's worthwhile at all. I don't have to go back in time yet because I don't have any warp tiles back in time. This is the only thing that I would do. But I don't want to. I think it's best to save that until next time. I think. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, we're done. We're done. Great. Okay, so now it's the cleanup phase. Remove workers very carefully. You are asleep, you're asleep. You're awake because you love mining. Asleep, awake. And then over here on my player board, the genius is awake. That's everybody. I'll take all these guys back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll take these guys back over here to Chronossus land. So that was the remove workers phase step. Check for impact. Impact's already happened. Check for game end. Not yet, because as we did that, all of these, when we removed those suits, all these flipped over into no-go zones. So, yikes, shnikes. So one's left. So, oh, man, wow, narrowly evaded. Let's see how it turns out. I'm excited, are you? All right. Yes. Preparation phase for the next round. We flip one of these cards, and we flip one of these cards. These are supposed to be face down. Sorry about that. Yodoink. So that means that 1, 2, 3 titanium go here, and a gold goes in the middle, and then one of each along the right-hand side. Just joining in. Oh, hey, dual-wheeled cats. But did we just hit the apocalypse? We just did the first era after the apocalypse. So you missed the meteor impact. Boy, there were sound effects. Well, it's too bad you missed all those sound effects that I had planned for the meteor impact. Yeah, but it's like, here's the situation. Super dicey, right? All of these are collapsed. There's one remaining, and all I got to do is build one building. Is that what I got to do? Yeah, I got to build one building. Oh, you know what? I just realized I made an error. It's fine. It's easy to fix, and it won't wreck the game. Build one building so that I can meet my evacuation requirements for an extra 3 points. I've already got 15 points, but I love 18. So that's the situation. The apocalypse is probably heralded by a sound much like Bits Please. You're right. In fact, I do believe... I do believe that when the meteor hit, it did sound a little something like this. Everything's on fire. Correct. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so that's all those guys done, and then we're gonna stock this puppy up. So 2 scientists, 1 engineer, 0 administrators. Doesn't matter. I got all the administrators I can handle, and 1 genius. And then we're gonna flip over these building tiles. Thank goodness the one that I want is still in there. Now, the thing that I realized I messed up was I remember I had to reverse that turn because I had not enough water. So I didn't get my resources back. So it would have cost me, what would I have paid? I would have paid a neutronium, a titanium, and a gold. So let me get those back. That's pretty, I was like, where'd all my stuff go? How come I can't afford buildings anymore? Everything's good. Everything's good. It's all good. Falcon Dream, no! No! Falcon Dream, it's gonna happen. It's unavoidable. Alright. Okay. That was preparation phase. Now it's paradox phase. So down here, let's see who rolls on each timeline tile. It's the bad guy, it's the bad guy, it's me. So I gotta roll once, he's gotta roll twice. So Chronossus there's a first roll. 1 paradox and 1 paradox. Let's get that all duded up over on his board. 1 and 1, fatoosh. And then over here, moi, I'm not really worried about this. 0! Hey! No, if you don't like the odds of that, or the die rolly thing of that, you can just, the rulebook says you can agree among your friends that whenever anybody has to roll, they just roll a 1. So if you don't like dice, I don't mind dice. It's okay. You know, it's chance, it's kismet, it's time, it's gambling. I don't know. No, dance, robot, dance! Oh my gosh! Which? Oh no! Here he comes! And he's gonna try to do a headstand. Here we go. Yeah. And he's gonna try to spin. He's gonna do it. He's not. He's failed miserably. Oh yeah, go. No. Wait, one more time. Yes, sort of. He did a 270. And he's gonna shake the rump. Shake the rump. Okay, that's it. That's enough for 500 cheddar. What do you think you're doing? The world was already ending, so it's okay to play the bits, please. Sting. I agree. And it's also fine for a robot to shake its rump. We're only here for a limited time. Let's have dirty dancing robots while we can enjoy them. I think, well spent. I think Boston Dynamics is working on a booty shaking robot as we speak. With guns, of course. I mean, everyone's, that robot dog Boston Dynamics is working on, and everyone's like, no. Like, I just saw they donated one to a museum in Calgary, I think, and they're like, look at our cute robot dog. I'm like, no. Like, it's cute until you mount a gun on it and starts murdering children. Like, clearly, it looks like it's right out of, like, District 9 or something. Like, everybody knows where this is going. I didn't, like, quit with your PR. Don't donate it to any schools or museums or anywhere where children are at play. Just get it out of here. If I had my wish come true, they're not going to use that robot dog to deliver much needed medication to war-torn areas. That's not what that robot dog is for. If I remember correctly, says Dual Wheel Cats, Metal Gear Solid had killer robots that moo. Did they really? On this board, I don't have the moo sound effect. I got rid of it because I knew I wasn't doing an Uwe Rosenberg game. Cool. To the next phase, it's going to be the power-up phase. So the robot's going to power up 2 suits plus whatever's in this bag. And what's in this bag is nothing. So it goes back in the bag. So it's only ever going to do 2 suits. But I think we're almost done with... I think that it'll be this round. I'm sure that it's going to end. And if not, I'll get my points and end it and get out of here. So that is the robot suits. Now over here in Ryanland, here's the situation. I would have to go back and give myself a suit. So I'm going to need at least 1 suit to do that. My guys are a bit of a disadvantage because I only really have 3 slots available to me. So I'm going to take up all 3 of those slots, pay my 2 energy cores for doing those 2 bottom ones. So if I were to pay back that requirement this round, that means that I would need, I would only have 2 suits. I would only have 2 suits for this round. If I only have 2 suits for this round, that means 1 is going to build and 1 is going to evacuate, and everybody else is going to do building stuff over here. And that's fine. I can only do 1 building stuffs. That's cool, but oh, you're coming back because you're awake and happy. I think that's okay. Did I say that's okay? I think that's okay. So 3 suits, I've paid for them. It's all good. We're on to the warp phase. Now, is it a good idea for me to warp? I don't think it is, because I don't need stuff, and I won't be able to go back in time to pay it off. By the way, we're in this era. So I think it's a bad call on placing warp tiles. Let me just see what's available. Like, I don't think I need any of this stuff. I can afford the building I want to do. The only thing that I would want... No, I shouldn't do it. It's just going to be negative 2 points if I do it. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I did it. No, I'm not going to do it. But the bad guy is going to roll to see how many the bad guy is going to do. Chronossus puts 1 down. Okay. So oh my gosh. What the heck? Who's raiding? What's going on? Oh, Jack Solaire. Thank you so much for, is it Solaire or Celta? It's a little, My Aging Eyes. I believe it's Solaire. Thank you so much, Jack. Welcome, everybody. We're just playing a little bit of Anachrony, and we're just about in the final, the meteors struck, time travel's happening all over the place. I'm about to evacuate people. There's cows mooing and lots of screaming. It's a total end of the world nightmare. Thank you for joining us. Glad you're here. Do give me a follow if you've got the inclination. So we've just done the paradox phase, the power-up phase, the work phase. We're good, and now it's time for action rounds. The robot, I want to explain how to play this if you're just jumping in, because it'll be the third time I've done it in the stream. The robot's got 2 exosuits, and we roll to see what the Chronossus is going to do. Apparently the Chronossus is going to throw the die off the table so that it's difficult for my prehensile toes to reach. Here we go. That one didn't count. It's a 5. So we take the 5 token and we move it up here following the black, and it does this thing. So it's going to, it's going to build, and it wants to build a power plant. That's bad because now only 1 build action remains, but I think I can do it all. So it's going to take a suit, and it likes this spot first, and it's going to build a power plant and wants to build the one that's worth most points to it. That one's worth 1, that one's worth 2. So over here it builds a, ooh, do I have this in the wrong spot? No, that's its first power plant. Here we go. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's good. So I'm going to grab one of my, over here on my board, I'm going to grab one of my Awake Engineers and some water and my suits. I'm going to go over here, pay the water, put the guy in the suit, and build. So I'm building up here. That's going to cost 1 neutronium, 1 titanium, and 1 gold with the 2 water I was lacking last round. Pay that all up. This, by the way, if you're just joining, is the Anachrony Infinity Box. Welcome, Raiders, says Omelette. You're welcome, says Jack. Hi, Jack. Hi, Jack. Wasn't that a joke in the Brady Bunch movie? Oh, and my name's not Jack. Great. Does the AI player also escape? No. And again, it's not escaping. I explained this a little bit before, but you're not escaping. This thing up here, this is evacuation. So you're fine. You're over here. Like, my people are all over here in hippie, foresty, treeland, Rivendell kind of thing. They're cool, and they've got people with them. What that whole thing is they're taking people from the capital to there. To be with them, to bolster their population so that those people will believe in the path of harmony, and they'll have like more numbers, because they just want their cult to be as big and strong as possible. Sorry, I don't get every word. I'm French. Are you French Canadian, or are you Parisian French? Are you national French? Because je parle petit peu de français, mais we only take it from 4th grade for 6 years, so I have 6 years of French. And it's really bad. It's really bad French. So if you would like me to order a hot dog in French, I can do that. I know a little bit more than that. Interestingly, I always start stories with interestingly. Maybe it's only interesting to me, but I had a friend who married a French guy. Her family was French, but they didn't grow up speaking French in the home. I'll slow my speech down, Lama, because you're stories for you, and I don't want you to not be able to follow what I'm saying. So she married a French guy, and she didn't speak French, and that was apparently much more important in that family than she thought. So it caused friction in the marital home, and it put them in danger of not being together anymore. So I actually went with her to take French classes. And so this is after high school, so I learned a little bit more French than I even did in high school and elementary school. Don't worry, you still understand. I know this game. Oh, okay. Thank goodness that I don't have to come up with French words describing things in Anachrony. Ici, c'est un robot de l'espace de... I have no idea how I'd say that. I don't even know how to say dice. Comment est-ce qu'on dit dice en français? C'est quoi? I don't know. I just don't get the jokes. Don't worry, nobody does. All right, so I'm building a building, and it was the one that I wanted to build was this power plant, and it goes up to the top of my board. Shazam. Yes, back to the bad guy. Les dés? C'est les dés? Qu'est-ce que c'est juste un? Les dés et un. C'est masculin et féminin. Trois! Blazam. You're going to get rid of an anomaly by paying these two things and get rid of that. That's not so good for old Rai Rai. Okay, my turn, and now the entire plan comes to fruition. Now I'm going to place an administrator into the suit and go to the main board. Dun 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 dun. And it's time to evacuate, so I take my path token and I put it up here, and this guy's trying to escape the suit. Here we go. All right, so all the screaming throngs, come with me. Come to the forest, to the woods, everyone. Flee this flaming, destroyed city. So I have met the requirements. I have 6 covered building spaces. I have 8 covered building spaces, so more than that. So I get 2 points. Step 1. Then for each building, not super project, but each building and administrator pair, I get another 3 points. I have 2, 4, 6 buildings, and I have 2, 4, 5, 6 administrators. So that's 18 points plus 2, 20 points for evacuating. Feels good, feels good. Yeah, yes. Dice equals un day. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, Van point. Merci for the follow, Jack. Appreciate that. Is it because I'm speaking very bad high school French? I'm working very hard to earn your follow. Okay, great. So I just got 20 points. Now he's got 1 suit left, and this could end it, ladies and gentlemen. 5 goes up here. What does he do? He gets one of these energy tokens back in his bag. Nothing too exciting. Back to me. Super exciting. I don't even know. Look at all this mess I've got going on my board. Holy cow. So I've got 1 suit, and with the 1 suit, I think that I would like to pull up the ladder and kill the game so that the bad guy can't earn any more points. Normally, I mean, if I was a better player, I would count up the amount of points that he has and the amount of points that I have, and I would only do this if I was sure that I had more points than him. But I'm reckless. I'm just going to go for it and leave the tension till the end of the game so we find out who wins. How does that sound? So to do that, I'm going to take one of my scientists, put him in a suit, go over here to the main board, stick him down here. That prize doesn't really matter to me, and neither does this. So I'm just going to get a triangle that has the target symbol on it. Sure, doesn't matter. Triangle, target. Nope, that's not it. Triangle, target. These got kind of messed up. There it is, triangle, target. Triangle target on my board. Now, back to the bad guy. He has 1 suit left still. He rolls the die. It's sitting the arrow here, so he comes from here. So he wants to research. Okay, so he takes the suit and he puts it. There's no spot for him to research, so he loses the suit and he gets 1 point. Haha, very good, very good. Okay, now, still my turn, so I get to do stuff without the suits. So, stuff I can do without the suits includes, I can't do this, but I can go back in time. Yes, I can go back in time. Oh no! I can't use that suit. I'm going to unsuit that if that's okay. I'm going to back that up. No. Unsuit. I can't use that suit because I got to go back in time to send it back. You're going to go back in time is what you're going to do. So did I gain any benefit? Yeah, I gained this thing. I'm going to throw that back. Splash. Sorry about that. I know, super cheaty. That's fine. It's solo. My grandfather taught me. He taught me how to play card solitaire, and he's like, no, if you get stuck, you just kind of move things around, and you throw this card away. I said, what? Throw the card away? Like, Grandpa, isn't that cheating? He's like, yeah, but I mean, it's just you playing, so it's fine. I'm like, all right. So my grandfather taught me how to cheat. If you're wondering where I learned it from, blame that man. Here we go. In a solitaire game, it's okay. You're only cheating yourself. Great. So I was like, what? There's grass on my board. So I'm going back in time. Step 1. Step 2, move the path marker backwards. Step 3, cash in the dude. And so now that these administrators have outlived their usefulness, I can send that administrator back, and I don't have to send the water. Oh, shoot. Do I have to? I think I've been doing it backwards this entire time. I think I requested the guy. I can't remember which direction you have to send the water. So when he came back, I paid the water. So now that I'm paying it back, I don't pay the water. I believe I got that right, I think. So anyway, I'm taking this warp tile off, and over here on my board, I'm going up one in the time travel track. That's step one. Chronossus is out of moves, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one here and pay water in order to go back in time again. So I'm going to refocus, so I'm going to go bleep, bleep, and I'm going to refocus this timeline, and then I'm going to send that powered up exosuit back in time, and go here, take this token off, and then back on my board, I get another X points for time traveling. Cool. Correct, you don't send the water back. Okay, thank you, Omelette. Yes, Oberon says you don't send back the water. Great. Which means that the bot loses that point and gets to research. Oh, you're right, because that space is now available. You're totally right. Thank you for the reminder. So we're going to roll. He loses the point that he got, and we're going to roll. I don't think it'll matter either way. I think it'll just be a point to him anyway, because he doesn't have a set or anything, and each one of these is worth a point to the bot. So I'll put that over on his board. Great. Okay, cool. Now, down to the last dregs of the things that I get to do. These aren't worth any points to me, so it's pointless for me to do that. I don't have the uranium to go here, and I don't need the water anyway, although those are both worth 1 point, which would have been nice. That's fine. I didn't plan well at all. I think that's everything. So now, when you take everybody back, this guy is going to be asleep. I don't think it matters. I've just got 2 suits. This guy's also asleep. Take everybody back. Chronossus takes his guys back, and because he comes off of this tile, this flips, everything's crasheroo, and so that is the end of the game. The whole capital has completely collapsed. Thank goodness I was able to save people and get them out into my little elf-like fairyland over here, and it's time to count up the points. Fantastic! I may need a little bit of help counting up the points. Let's pick a nice color. We'll go with blue. No, I'm green, man. I should go with green. I don't know if you'll be able to see green on the camera. Let's see. It might be a little bit too bright. Yeah, it's too bright. We're gonna go blue. All right. Okay, let me just double check that there's nothing sneaky or fancy about the end game scoring conditions. End of game. I think. Okay, let's just see. Okay, so first step is points for buildings. So this is going to be Ryan. Now, before we do this, I want you to take a vote. I'm going to put a vote up. I'm going to put a poll up. I'm going to end the last one, and we're going to launch this one. You're going to vote 1, exclamation mark, vote space 1 for good old Rai if you think that I won. Where's the poll now? Come on now, there it is. And then exclamation mark, vote space 2 for the Chronossus if you think the Chronossus won. So vote 1 for Ryan, vote 2 for the Chronossus. Usually the smart money is on anybody but Ryan, but I think I might have, correct me if I'm wrong, I might have a chance at this. I might. So let me just see what you think. Well, Omelet's got my back. He thinks that it's going to be me. Christian 2 thinks that it's going to be me as well. Okay, pretty good. Now, the one thing that you're not seeing is I have 10, 20, 30. I have 32 freestanding points in just chits off the side of my board. So I don't know if that's going to influence your voting at all. And then if we go back to Chronossus, let's take a look at what he's got rocking. He's got that's negative points, but he's got 2 of these buildings, 2 of these buildings, so 3 of them, 2, 1, and 2 super projects. 2 super projects. The odds are, or the votes are slightly in my favor. Let's take a look. Okay, so buildings, we're going to count up Chronossus's building value. I'm going to try not to get blue marker on my table on my game. So just his building value, that's 2 points, Another 6 is 8, 10, 12, 14. Another 6 is 20. Minus 2 is 18 for Chronossus's buildings. And then over on Ryan Land, we've got 1, 2, I got low value buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. So already smoking me on the old buildings. Then for the super projects, Chronossus has 6 plus 6, 12 points for Chronossus's super projects. And I only had one super project, and that was worth 6 points to me. So again, he's doubled my points on the super projects too. For anomalies, I have already counted his anomalies, so I'll just put 0, 0 it out for both of us. I didn't have any anomalies. Down here with time travel points, Chronossus has 6 time travel points, and Ryan has also 6, so that essentially evens out, doesn't matter, 6 and 6. Down here for morale, Ryan has, oh, you know what I'm going to do? Just with my last guy, and I can do this, I'm going to pay the water and wake everybody up. Just to squeeze one more point. And I can do it because I've got the people, it's all good. So morale for Ryan, I think that's fair. That's fair, come on. Morale for Ryan is 6. And morale for the Chronossus is at also 6. Oh, I'm glad I did that. Okay. And then he's got 1 point for 2 points for super projects. He doesn't have a set or anything. You'll have to take my word for it. It's kind of hidden. Bots don't handle paradox as well. I know, 2 points, and I have 0 points for breakthroughs, which is not so good. But I think this is where I might have totally pulled it out of the fire. Let's see. So for freestanding points, Chronossus has 5, 10, 15, 21 points. 21. And for freestanding points, like I said, I've got 5, 10, 10, 20, 32. 32, pretty good. Those of you who are good at math already know how this is going to end. I don't. It's still a mystery. And then negative 2 points for every warp tile that you have down here on warp tile land. I have 0. I cleared it all up. And he's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So negative 10 for Chronossus, negative 10, and I've got 0. And then for this end game condition thing, does he earn points for this, or is it just me? These 4 robots, do robots get this? Let me just check. I don't know. Oh, it doesn't lose VPs for its warp tiles remaining on the timeline. Oh dear. Oh dear, that was a close one. No, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. I should follow this more closely. But what I don't get is, I don't think the Chronossus earns points for these endgame goals, but you guys can tell me if it's wishful thinking. Okay, so nice try, human. Yeah, exactly. So if I don't have any of these breakthroughs, so I don't get any points. But let's add up my time travel potential. I have 3, 6, 9. So that means that over here with 9, I get 2 points. So that's 2 points. And then down here, if I am on the 5th, 7th, or 8th spot, I think that's how that works. So I am not, I'm on the 4th spot. So I get 0 for that. So just an extra 2 points for that little bit. Did you reverse the breakthrough scoring? Did I reverse the breakthrough scoring? Let's take a look. I did. Thank you. Sneaky, sneaky. That's how I get more points. Okay. I'm just used to him going first, so I thought I should have put him on the left. And then this is all just expansion stuff that doesn't matter. So let's do some Adderoo here. Oh boy, oh, how I love doing math on the stream. 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 6 is 19, plus 6 is 25, plus 32 is 57, 59, I believe. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. 18 plus 12 is 36, plus 6 is 42, 44, 63. Oh no! Oh, I should have counted up the scores and tried, but he could have. Oh no! Oh no! Humankind has been destroyed by the Chronossus. Bad news, everybody. I know, I was going to try to send you home with some happy thoughts, but that's it. We're all ruined. Sorry. Sorry that I was unable to save humanity. I mean, I did try. And you guys, a lot of you had my back, too. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's terrible. So I believe if you're paying any attention to how Ryan's doing at the solo modes of these board games, I believe it's Board Games 8 Ryan Zilcho. I think that's where the standings are now. But that's pretty close, though, for my first go. Do you think that's all right? 63 to 59? Skynet takes the round. Yeah, Skynet takes everything because he's murdered us all, including Santa. Oh, fantastic. Then it all comes around full circle. We didn't even have to commission the robot to murder Santa. People who joined after the Hitman Santa comments are just like, what's going on? Oh, I thought I was going to come up with a witty name for that movie, wasn't I? Hiring Santa. I would call it probably Hit Christmas. Probably. Because, like, Christmas Sleigh is taken. I think they mentioned that in Ernest Saves Christmas. That was a fictional movie title, which they probably made into a real movie, I'm sure. Though it's a good one. Oh, great. That's okay. Santa never gave me anything. Oh, it probably deserves it. That's not nice. Is it wondering, really? Santa never gave you anything? That's very sad. That's very, very sad. I feel bad now. I feel bad, but that's okay. I will, you know what? I'll have all of Santa's stuff once we dispatch him. So I don't know. Santa's alive and well. Don't worry, anybody who likes Santa. We're not actually, nothing's happening. I don't know if there's any younger people watching this stream, so I should really watch what I say. That was Anachrony solo mode. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a teaser of what's coming up on Nights Around a Table for the month of December. It's not a whole lot because it's a busy season. It's a holiday time and I got to run around and do a bunch of shopping. But what I'm working on behind the scenes are four how to play videos. 3 of them are commissioned by publishers for upcoming crowdfunding campaigns. 2 for upcoming crowdfunding campaigns, 1 for a crowdfunding campaign that's already happened and it's being fulfilled, and the 4th one is a space game that's very complicated. The script is 16 pages long. It's going to be horrendous for me to try to finish, but I think that once I do it, I think you'll all be very happy that it's out on the channel. So see if you can guess what game that is. If you are a backer of the channel on Patreon, that means that you will get special access to a couple of secret channels on the Discord server where I just blab about absolutely everything I'm doing. So if you're one of the patrons who has joined me in the chat today, you already know what's coming up on the channel. What else can I tell you? There were 2 straggling pieces of content that didn't quite make it into Uwe Rosenberg last month. By the way, that's the Discord server if you want to join us. So these 2 pieces of content were a Bits Please episode. And one that was a Find the Fun, so that's my review series. So I may still make those, even though it's not Uwe Rosenberg month. It's a little past. It's like when you go into a store after Christmas and there's still Christmas stuff on the shelves and it's a little bit distasteful. I may still do it and I may still put those 2 videos together because I was about halfway on each of them. So I'd hate to throw out that work until next Uwe Rosenberg month in November 2022. Whew, 2022. Does that roll off the tongue nicely? Let's raid somebody. Hey, Omelette, do you have anybody queued up? Let me know. Black Angel 2.0. You think so? I hope that it doesn't do what Black Angel does. I did a Black Angel video, how to play Black Angel video, and I thought for sure some people would appreciate and enjoy it, but that game is not nearly as well received as I hoped it was, and so the video, no, everyone's like, forget that game. You know, somebody online told me I wouldn't like it, so I'm not even going to watch the video. Please watch that video. I'd feel so much better. And if you like, Paula Deming, we're going to raid Paula? Really? Wasn't the etiquette not to raid anybody who has a bazillion more followers than you? Whatever, we're raiding Paula. Here we go. So we'll queue up the raid. Yeah, let's do it. I've got Paula, who's not playing board games, but choices are slim. Yeah, Tuesday mid-evening might not be the time to be streaming board game stuff. What's Paula playing? Sometimes she does video games. It's not always board games. And when she does board games, she tends to stick to digital stuff. So she might be doing a digital board game. Let me know. Great, thanks so much, Dual Wheelcast. Thanks for popping by. And I should be streaming again this weekend. Friday night was a little bit of a dead shed for me. I don't know, maybe I'll try it again. But I was feeling ill last week, so maybe that was it. Nobody wanted to hang out because it's like, it's looking a little bit green. I don't know if we should watch his stream or call an ambulance for him. If you remember, I had to bail out. And if you're watching the rerun of this, the VOD, you're not going to have any idea what's happening because I'm going to cut out all the stuff where it's like, I'm not feeling so well. And it's just going to cut smoothly into the second half where out of nowhere I'm talking about, when I had to leave the stream. That's what happened. Hopefully it won't happen again. Hopefully I'll get as many Z's as I need to not feel super ill on a Friday night stream. Filling time, and the load bar is almost there, and here we go. Are you ready? The countdown begins shortly. Join us in this raid and you will get valuable channel points, which you can spend on, I'll tell you in 5 seconds what you can spend them on, such amazing and wonderful things as...
Did you just watch that whole thing? Oh, hey! To 100% this video, click the badge to subscribe, and then click the bell to get notifications when I've got new stuff.